Hello.
Was cracking.
Let's get this butt, gentlemen.
That every time I read those words, I laugh, bro. I'm a fucking infant. Every time I read the words "get that butt," I giggle. I don't know why. I can't help it. I
It
can't help
represents. Like I'm in the same boat as you, sir. Same boat.
it. Get that butt. Damn, dude. I love that guy. He did something great for all of us. He introduced us to concepts that I would have never, ever in my life thought about. Or I mean, how do you even come to the knowledge that this is a whole science in jail? How to get somebody rape kitted? Let's get this motherfucker rape kitted. Have somebody
You're
call.
telling me up until now you've never heard of the Glock Dookie?
No, I
No?
never heard of a Glock Dookie. I didn't know there was
Hmm.
a song. The song's pretty cool actually, but and I don't know why. Wouldn't it be Dookie Glock? Wouldn't that make
Hmm.
more sense? Is it me or?
Maybe he's Spanish, and he puts the verb or the adjective
Oh, got it. Glock
after.
Dookie. There you go. Glock
Hmm.
Dookie. So we gonna put all kind of disgusting bodily fluids and poops and spits and all kind of shit into a little container so that whenever a person or a guard or just somebody you don't like or somebody you got some beef with or just to pass the time on a Tuesday, you just spray it on them and you try to get it in their mouth too. Like that's you get extra points if you get it in their mouth. How do you do that to somebody and not expect to die immediately after?
I will beat you into your rage, an unstoppable rage.
Yeah. Yo, they would be when they came to get me off you, it would look like I was wrestling 100 pounds of ground beef. By the time I was done with you, it would just be burger on the ground, just wet burger in prison clothes. I'm sorry, yeah. Fire
It's just,
me,
and
do it.
since you like shot shit at me, like I'm beating you with the stick. Like there's no humanitarian thoughts
I'm
at
beating
all.
you with everything, bro. I'm chewing your nose off, bro. I'm gonna bite your nose off. I'm gonna do enough so that I can say it was temporary insanity. I ain't just gonna box you and knock you out. I'm gonna do some shit where they really question, am I okay? And I'm gonna be like, look, all I know is he shot me with a Glock Dookie, and then when I woke up, I was in handcuffs and I had blood all over me. I don't remember nothing in between.
I
Yeah.
think you're well within your rights to do the thumbs gouging out the eyeballs
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We both
You're
screaming.
absolutely, yeah, within your
No,
rights.
We
there's
both
no,
screaming at the same time. I'm
there's
fuck that.
You
like,
you sprayed me with Amber Heard. You I have to gouge your eyes out.
That's what was in the that what was in the Glock Dookie. That's Amber
You
Heard.
you made my face Amber Heard's bed.
That's
I
victim
have to
blaming.
gouge your eyes out.
I've never seen a slow death of a white woman ever in my life. I've never seen that like that.
She ain't dying. I stand with Amber is trending on Twitter right now.
That's lunatics. That has to be trolling. That has to be trolling. Because like if you sit there and watch like the trial, the lawyers are eating her up to the point her own lawyer was like, "I'm tired." like, like there's no there's no way, bro. And then she does this thing when she talks. She'll look at the jury like they're on her side. It's like everybody sees right through it at this point.
I don't know. I don't know, bro. I stand with Amber. They on it. They like, oh, well, you know what she's being framed as right now? What she's being called is an imperfect victim. How you like that?
That's
Yeah,
good.
it is. I can't
That
front.
is
I
good.
can't front. That's really good shit right there. An imperfect victim. And I like how you slipped in the victim, like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know
an
what I'm saying?
afterthought.
Yeah, as an afterthought, but it's still going
I'm
to hold
with
the
you.
most weight because you're by saying she's an imperfect victim, you're basically saying that Johnny Depp is guilty, but she's
Right,
imperfect.
right. You're
Very
admitting
clever.
we've caught her in at least 50 lies. She's clearly full of shit, but still,
Yeah,
he probably beat and raped her, even
very
though all of
clever.
the evidence up until now has indicated the
This
opposite.
this man has rings in every finger. Every finger. And she has no pictures, no evidence of any bruising, of getting punched in the face by a man who wears rings. There's pimps in the street right now who have prostitutes on the street who you could clearly see get punched and boxed by a man.
Mm, mm. I don't know, dude. I, you can't never put nothing past nobody. So let's just put that right out there. Anybody could give some. You can give a woman an ass whooping. Like anybody could do it. Not the demeanor of the guy doesn't matter. His social status does. None of that matters. Like anybody could whoop somebody's ass. But in this case, I just feel like looking at everything, and I haven't followed it closely, so let me just say that. But everything that's come across my field of vision tells me that it's more likely that she's lying than it is that he beat her ass. That's just what I see. I don't know, man. He looked like he took so much punishment from her. He looks like he just suffered a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And she seems to be the one that has the real spicy attitude and shit. She talks like a woman who hits men and then says, "What are you gonna do? Hit me back?"
No,
Like
but
that
that's
kind of
literally
shit.
what she said.
That's
Right.
exactly what it is.
That's exactly what she
exactly
said
what it is.
on tape.
Oh, okay. So she said
He's
that.
like,
That's not
like,
just me
like
making
you
shit
hit,
up from my
he's like,
patriarchal point of view.
he's like, you hit me. He's like, oh, are you a bitch?
Right.
Like-
Come on.
Come on, Johnny. I didn't even hit you. I know what it feels like to be hit. You hit me with a closed fist. Come on. What are you going to tell people that I hit you, Johnny? I mean, God. Yeah. It's intense.
This is,
And again,
this
just
is
was this somebody? There had to have been microphones all over at all times. Way too much was captured. Way
Yeah,
too much.
because he knew who he was dealing with. He was dealing with a punchy psycho, bro. She was bugging out over there, and he wasn't convinced that he could get away with laying the smackdown on the bitch, so he was playing it safe. There's other men out there who would have just lumped her ass up and dealt with whatever consequences came with it. And then again, the way she carries herself, I feel like if he would have lumped her up, that would have just calmed her down and probably got him a BJ. Like, I'm sorry, I know that's problematic, but I'm just saying.
Everything about that is terrible. Yes.
Everything I know that was horrible. I know, but you got to understand. Like some people, this will be the same thing as if like not as far as the BJ, but it's the same energy of you get bullied, and then you punch the bully in the nose. Now he respects you and y'all become friends and shit. Like he don't just keep bullying you all the time. Sometimes those people need you to put them in their place. There's men who function like that. They'll come in the room and test you, and when you be like, "Yo, I'll smack the shit out of you, B," they'll be like, "Oh, I like this guy. I like him." Like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, why would you try to rile me up to the point of violence just to test me and now you like me? Get the fuck out of here. And she seems like that type of person. I bet if he popped her in the chop, she'd be like, "Damn, Johnny, go take a shower."
So it's okay. So either you could look at that as, well, this is her being a victim and her being abused. If she was somehow willing to blow him after being beaten up by him, that's her clearly being victimized. You see what I'm saying? He hit her, and he was controlling, and he was evil, and that's part of the abuse, and that's why she's attracted to it.
Wow. Hey, listen. And what she's not attracted to is him being a pacifist during the abuse. She's trying to trigger him to put her in her place. And that's probably what she's mostly attracted to. And I know what this sounds like. It sucks. It sounds like a guy who beats his wife trying to, like, rationalize but that's not what I'm saying. People like that resent when you don't give them the behavior that they think they deserve, right? So this is why nice guys get kicked in the balls by women all the time. Or so often. I won't say all the time.
That's exactly what happens. You can't be like a cool, calm dude and like avoid all type of altercation, and then after a while, the female's gonna be like, "Well, you must be some type of a pussy," because she's been beaten down so many times.
Right.
That's her vision of a man.
Right. And also
Not that he's rational and he has rational thinking and knows to avoid confrontation.
right.
No, he has to be a pussy.
And sometimes it's because those women have a depiction of themselves internally. Internally, they don't like themselves. They feel like they deserve this behavior and shit like that. And that's a broken psychology. But who knows what got them to that point? And if you try to treat them nice and you rubbing her feet and telling her she's beautiful, deep down inside, she don't believe that. She thinks she's terrible. She thinks she deserves to be beat. So then she resents you for not being what she thinks is honest with her. She's like, you know, I'm a fucking slut that deserves a kick in the ass. Why are you fucking bringing me flowers? So that's why she victimizes and abuses the person who treats her nice. It's basic. This is basic shit. It's terrible. This is all that traumatic shit that gets passed down generation to generation. And, you know, your mama taught you some fucked up shit because she hated your daddy. And this shit goes back a long way. But this is just the reality of the situation. And people
Well,
learn that, so they exploit people when they see that weakness in them.
I blame women.
Me too,
That's
but,
just
I blame women.
I just see that as a situation where there is no objective reality. Two people can look at the exact same thing and agree on just about everything up until that point. Like they'll look at it and they'll say, "Yep, you're absolutely right. She is lashing out at him. She absolutely, yes, she was violent. Yes, she was manipulative. Yes, when he hit her, she creamed her panties and was really turned on by it. But, and this is where you guys will deviate, they'll say it's because that's part of her conditioning, programming, and abuse.
right.
That's how ill Johnny was. He
Oh, okay.
Pavlovian dogged her to just fucking come when he smacked the shit out of her.
Nope.
That's part of the programming. And you're seeing that from your patriarchal standpoint, your antiquated caveman perspective, and you're saying that that's just what they would be calling abuse, Sean Connery would be calling woman rearing. This is how I keep peace in my house. This is how I rear my women so that
Okay.
they're docile and obedient.
So the whole in that concept, right, is okay. So what this trial? How did this trial come to be? What's the basis of it? Is who versus who? Who brought it up? How did this shit happen?
He's
So
not getting money like he used to. And it's not because he's not a viable commodity. This is his position. It's because she put out an op-ed where basically he's like, I survived the Me Too, which is Johnny Depp. He beat the shit out of me. He conditioned me. He roughed me up and fucked me. He was an asshole. He raped and beat me. It was horrible. He was living with a monster.
and she got 7 million out of it.
Well, did she get? I thought that was part of the divorce settlement. Like, here, go away. Here's 7 million.
Yeah, basically.
Seems
That she
incredibly generous.
that she pledged away, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the problem is, so Johnny Depp, he brought her to court
Yeah, he brought
for
her to court.
defamation and all that kind of shit.
Yep.
Defamation, yes, sir.
Okay. So the hole in that plot was, first of all, Johnny Depp didn't have enough time to create that kind of Pavlovian response in an adult woman. There's
They
no
were
way.
married 15 months.
That's not enough time to create that
This sounds
Pavlovian
like
response
perfect victim shaming, but
in
continue.
in an adult woman. That shit takes a lot of time. It usually happens when, how old is she? Well, we ain't gonna get into
He
that.
exploited her previous abuse.
Oh, so
She
she
was
was
already
already
broken. Correct.
okay. So
And
did her
he said she
previous
was a predator.
handler? Did her previous handler give her to Johnny and then tell him all her triggers and keywords and shit? Like when you pass off an attack dog, you like you gotta
Being nice.
you gotta say
Predators
sit
know
in
how to
German.
spell out their victims.
She only listens to German attack commands, so you gotta know the right shit.
Nice.
I don't know. I
It's
just
all
don't.
it's all full of shit when she's out there having sex with other men. That's when it all, like, to me, it all crumbles apart.
Well, sex with other men could be a coping mechanism.
Nah.
It could be. Men
Full of
men,
shit.
men use sex
Someone
with
to
other
share
women as a coping
was
mechanism.
abused.
Men definitely do it.
Your cry for abuse shouldn't be dick afterwards.
Well,
Of course it was. She was just raped. Johnny Depp raped her.
you're right. So
So
the
she
only way to
so she
erase the
goes to
rape,
James Franco
Yes,
and gets
unraped.
he's scrubbed out.
Pull out the rape with your penis.
I just like to say, if reincarnation comes back is a real thing, I have no desire to be a woman. None.
Listen, the
None.
only way to get rid of Peter tracks is to scrub them out and leave new Peter tracks.
That's why it's shaped like a mushroom head. It gets in there, it pulls out
Yeah,
all the bad,
scoops out all the bad.
Oh.
scoops it out. Let me get out of that trauma out and abuse.
Oh God, this is so
I had
terrible.
I had a
But-
girl
but-
I had a
but-
girl tell me I had a girl tell me that she's having a hard time having sex with me because I'm not bringing back her traumatization of old men raping her.
No. Mm. Brother, brother,
I'm
brother.
dicking her down like the best dick. She says I'm the best dick she ever had, but she told me that she has problem having sex with me because she can't fantasize herself getting raped by old men.
Well, hey, I'll just say
Women are full of shit.
that one definitely was. That one was all fucked up. That's not somebody you're supposed to be banging at all. She's not supposed to be having sex. She's not ready for a sexual relationship. She needs a therapist. She needs a lot of things, but pipe ain't one of them. I'm sorry, bro. That's terrible. Now see, that's the
Hype isn't going to fix that problem, is what you're saying.
no, not at all. Not at all. She needs to, a therapist. She needs a lot of sessions. She needs somebody to talk to her over probably the course of a few years, and she should probably be celibate throughout that time. I don't think she needs any sex. She needs to get to know herself, maybe give her some sex toys or something. But that's a dangerous hole to be in, bro.
I'm not no longer in that hole anymore.
No, thank you. Yeah, this chick, I just don't believe her. She's sniffing coke on the stand. She's fucking making funny face.
Allegedly,
Okay. Allegedly
could have
sniffing
been just
coke.
boogers. She was traumatized. She was crying. It could have just been snot.
I've just never seen a person close one nostril to clean their nose. I've never personally seen that.
She
When,
was honing in on the one spot that was really bugging her.
and then she
Yeah.
sniffed. She didn't blow. I'm pretty sure she sniffed.
Well, she wanted to make sure she didn't drizzle any cocaine though.
I
Okay.
love. I also love the fact that normally when you see like trials like this, it's just like two normal people who are most likely lying in the courtroom. But the fact
Usually,
that's
how
what I'm
many
saying.
trials like this have we seen?
Well,
It
I'm
seems,
just not
yeah.
like this per se, but just saying like you have a trial, two people
Or
you
like a
can't
divorce.
yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
you know like both of them are bending the truth a little bit.
Right, right,
But
right, right.
I love the fact that it's two actors.
Right. And listen, and I'm aware of the fact that because Johnny Depp is a good actor and she's a bad actor, this could be affecting my perception. I'm cognizant of that. Like he
Yeah.
really could have been a piece of shit and he would have sold not being a piece of shit way better than she would have sold anything. So it puts her at a disadvantage if you're just going by the strength of their testimony. I'm just looking at and even the people that are being brought in, I mean, I'm sure a lot of their loyalties are to him. I don't think that they, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what really happened? All I know is she has all her fingers. All I know is she has all her fingers and all of the audio that's leaked out has corroborated his narrative, not hers. So maybe all that shit happened and it wasn't committed to tape. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm in the same position if I'm just looking at the person and how I'm watching them in real time characterize an event that we all know. Like she's referencing when she was fighting with him and what the context of that fight was because they had her on the stand basically like explain why you're on tape saying that you hit him and that he's a bitch and if you guys brought this to the public people would believe you not him. Like people would say this is a smoking gun to the whole defamation case. Like you're saying if we brought this public, people would sympathize with me, not you. Because I'm a young woman and you're fucking Johnny Depp and you're a weirdo. You have a goofy fucking hair plugs and way too many rings. And you talk like a fucking weirdo. No one's gonna believe you. That was her angle. But
Damn. And the
I
fact
thought
that
I
I'm
thought I
glad
was
that he got
recording
that.
everything.
I'm glad he got that because if he didn't have that recording, bro, if he didn't have that recording, you could nobody would believe any of that shit.
That's
Because
probably not the first time she said that
oh
to him.
hell no, that wasn't his first
He's like
rodeo.
he's like, I got you, bitch. I
Yeah,
got you next time.
that was not her. That was not his first rodeo. He knew exactly what he was dealing with. He was dealing with a monster, bro. And he was like, nobody's gonna believe me, so I gotta protect myself. That's a horrible bird right there. But it's also one of the most common ways that a woman can destroy you by using the damsel in distress thing. I heard somebody say something super clever that I completely agree with, and it was saying that a woman's strength is in her portraying weakness.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, that's the real shit. And the man is the vice versa. Like his weakness is him portraying strength, and it's ill. It's ill because
Yeah.
if she was just like, yo, fuck Johnny, let's shoot the one, let's go outside, let's get some gloves, I'll knock Johnny out. Nobody
Smoking a
that wouldn't
cigarette.
work. But if she
Yeah.
cries on the stand and says, "Oh, I was so afraid of him," everybody starts looking at you like you're a monster, no matter what. No matter what, you
Right.
got to go pretty far to prove that a woman is the actual aggressor. You got to go pretty
She
far.
she is, when you're talking about caricatures and like everything that Harvey Weinstein personified as a victimizer, like she personifies as a fake victim.
Right.
Like all of the shit that you would say on the other end, like as bad as Harvey Weinstein was in leveraging power, like, hey, this Me Too shit is real. Look at this dude jerking off in plants, ripping robes off bitches, and no, let's have the interview in the hotel room. Like as much of a creep as he was, I've got the keys to the kingdom. I've got money. No one's gonna believe you. I'm powerful. Don't you want a career? Everything he was to that energy, she is to some of this Me Too shit is fake. Like, yes, women can lie and pretend that they're victims because they understand how destructive it is.
Yeah.
Everything he did to authenticate the Me Too shit, she's completely undermined. I think at this point it's like, believe all women. Even this
That's
bitch,
done.
this is silly.
That
This is
wave is
silly.
over. That
Yeah.
wave is over.
That's silly for anything. Anything you put
Of
at the end
course.
of that sentence is stupid. Believe all children. Believe all black people. Believe all midgets. Like, there's no way you can make that sentence into a coherent and sound position to have about any group of people. So for you to, the only people who would agree with it are whoever matches the last word of that sentence. If you say believe all hunchbacks, they're gonna be like, yeah, well, yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna completely agree, but nobody else is gonna be on board with that. That's
Yeah, they
stupid.
would just they would just shrug their shoulders and be perplexed at why you had a problem with it.
Right? Yeah. What's the matter with believe all midgets? Midgets don't lie. Oh, okay. Only tall people tell lies. Midgets have never lied all throughout history. You can't find a historical account of a midget lying. This is what they do. They'll look you right in your eye and you say, women don't lie about sexual assault.
Then people will start selling books like Jesus was a midget.
Yo, I found a whole website.
Midgets
This is
built the
like
pyramids. Yeah.
this was a while ago, but I found like a whole website that broke how homosexual the Bible was. To
Mm.
the point like they were manipulating the meanings of words. Like I forgot what it is. What's the name of a Roman soldier? Like a centaur or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. They broke down the definitions to say that it was a homosexual. Like I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just it's ridiculous. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
People can figure it. I'm telling you, you could put anything together, no matter what it is. If you want to create a conspiracy theory, or if you want to just come up with an idea, a wild ass concept, I guarantee if you sit down long enough, you smoke enough pot, you know what I'm saying, maybe microdose a little bit, you'll come up with some strings to fit these things together enough to where all you got to do is put it out into the world, and then the rest will snowball itself into existence, guaranteed. Speaking of which, let me just get this out in the open right now. So, we spoke about this briefly this week, but my absolute favorite of all time conspiracy theory is now that the concept that birds are not real. So, I had seen this, and I thought it was a joke. One of those like articles from the Onion, birds aren't real, they're just government drones or some shit like that. So you laugh at it, it's funny. But then I realized that it's sort of like it's like a flat earth thing. Like there are really, in real legit life, people who think that birds are not real. Birds all across the board. Flamingos, crows, they're just not real. And pigeons especially. So in that group, there's a subgroup who think that other birds might be real, but pigeons aren't. Pigeons
I'm
are
in
the
that
ones.
group.
So okay, so every other bird is real, but not pigeons.
Right. There's definitely like Game of Thrones, Raven, bird drones for sure. But not all. That's just, if you believe all birds are drones, that's just stupid. You're a
So
stupid person.
so
See, that's why I can't respect. Like, if you're gonna go down this rabbit hole, let's just say all animals are fake.
no, 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 birds, pigeons
What makes
especially.
birds? What makes birds so fucking special?
Well, I haven't got that deep into the community yet because you got to be real careful because they'll kick you out if they think.
No, 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 no. Hold on, hold on. Chickens are real, and chickens cannot what? They can't fly.
Oh, it's the flying that does it, huh?
You have wings, but natural creatures do not have the gift of flight.
What about like insects?
Nope, not real. Drones made in labs.
I can't.
I love it.
Made in labs.
I love
This
it.
It's
is
true. Look it up. There's bugs that were completely made in laboratories.
why I know
They've
that. Love
they've
bugs.
injected bugs with certain chemicals. They've dabbled in the notion of like administrable vaccines, like nanotechnology, in bugs that would transmit it to you when they bite you. It's absolutely on the
That
record, one hundred
that I
percent.
know. That I know is fact because even the Japanese did that to the Chinese when they were testing a lot of things on them. They even I forgot what was the disease they were
If
practicing.
it can fly, it's from the government and it's watching you. Nature doesn't
If
fly.
it can, you know what? I like that as a general rule. just, just as a general rule, if it can fly, it was made by the government and it's watching you. I like that. I like that. If it can
But
fly, it was made by the government.
that's why Watson is over your house right now. It's the government watching over you every day,
Government.
all day. They
So,
don't die in the winter. They just sit there.
so these government drones, they come to your house, they build a nest, and then they self-replicate. And if you get too close to them, they punish you.
Yeah, makes sense.
You see what I'm
Makes
saying?
complete
You see how
sense.
it don't take a lot. It don't take a lot to create a theory and make it rooted enough into reality to where people who are already prone to that type of gullibility will just take that shit and run with it. And then if you leave it out there and come back 6 months later to check on it, it will have grown into a ball of yarn that you could have never guessed from the outset. They'll create so many more new threads and concepts and ideas. And oh, you thought it was just insects. Let me show you what we've done with your research so far. Yeah, it's madness,
Right.
bro.
And
Birds
then
aren't
you'll
real.
be denounced as an agent.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like he's contradicting us. He's an agent.
It just says
Actually, I just
birds
started the whole fun.
charge. Birds charge on power lines.
That's why
That's why
when
they
this
sit on the
shit
power
falls
line.
apart, bro, you can't trust humans anymore. 'Cause you don't know what they're gonna believe.
Hey, that's my new favorite conspiracy theory. Nothing else even deserves.
I like it.
Yeah, I love it. Dude, birds aren't real. That's a good one. That's ambitious. That's super ambitious. One of the dudes said that pigeons aren't real, and you know they aren't real because you've never seen them in any nature documentary. There's never been a nature documentary that featured pigeons. They teach you about them, tell you about them, like all their lifestyle, where they nest at, like nothing like that. You've seen it about maybe about an eagle or an owl, but you've never seen a nature documentary about a
And
pigeon.
when was there pigeons? Courier pigeons. What did they deliver? Messages during times of war.
Mm.
Government technology.
So were those pigeons real, and then the government like cyborged them, or did somebody just completely create the concept of a pigeon?
They were never real. They've
Never.
always been robot drones.
Even
It's
in
only
medieval
now
times, they were cyborg robots.
especially in medieval times.
Yeah, they used to use birds to go down like caves to see the lack of oxygen and
Oh,
all
the
that.
canary. Oh, the canary's a robot too, because it can sense the carbon dioxide and all that shit. I got you.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
got you.
It beep 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 beep. Yeah, it's a
So
smoke
that tweet,
detector.
it just
It's
beeps.
birds are alien technology that's been here for generations.
Oh gosh.
Humans can't build Puma Pumku, and nature cannot produce creatures that fly. If it flies, it's
It's a
full of
lie.
lies.
Oh gosh.
if it if it can fly, it's a lie.
If
That's it.
if it flies, it's a lie.
assessment of nature. That's it.
Oh gosh, I
All
love it.
condensed down into that.
Oh gosh, yeah, I love it, dude. That's my new favorite, and it was presented by somebody like the person who presented it. Um, this is a person who like you ever seen somebody? I'm sure you have. You ever somebody who's so smart and like has this thirst for intelligence that they become gullible because they
Oh
just
yeah.
want to believe the most outlandish shit. Like it's the person who just wants to have the most unaccessible esoteric knowledge. And in your pursuit for this esoteric knowledge, you come across some straight goofy shit, but your brain doesn't flag it as fake because you're so anxious about having the scoop. You want to have the scoop.
You just explained 50% of black women.
Oh, back to black women. We we just gonna keep throwing darts today, huh?
No, no, no. No, what we need to do is we need to get this militant midget movement off the ground. I want to see the most adorable militants in history. I want to see it. I want to
Midgetins?
see I want to see militant ass midgets.
I
That's what
don't
I want to
know.
see. But like believe all midgets,
Yeah,
the whole thing with believe all midgets, I want to see like they've never really had their power movement. Where
right.
they were wearing some ridiculous garbs and like fiery lectures and maybe a little bit of terrorism just to get their point across. Like I want to see like a bunch of adorable tiny people dressed up in like military gear fucking people up in the streets.
No. See, that's the thing though, is if they're not gonna really rally anybody to action because they're just gonna be adorable. No matter how angry he
Right,
is,
but
just
that's what I'm
squeaking
saying.
across the stage with his little body,
All their
just
weapons are gonna be like tiny as fuck.
miniature weapons, little tiny
No, but
picket signs.
but listen, whatever way they go, like if they go like black militant and they have like little cute bow ties, or they go like white supremacist and they're wearing hoods, like whatever, we're separate and we have a tribal agenda, and it's militant. It's militant. It can be with kufis or it can be with hoods. I don't care. But whatever, however you want to dress the midgets up. But I want to see those midgets all gathered and see him. It's gonna be a him leader, of course, and stepping on 5 or 6 phone books like to get over the podium. And
Right.
all the little people in the stands, and they're just having these. And they do some kind of hands thing, their version of the Roman salute or the Black Power fist, whatever it is. Just I want them to be militant. And I don't think there's ever been one. There's been a
No.
militant movement for pretty much everything. Stop killing babies or we'll kill your doctors. Like there's been a militant movement for everything, except midgets.
Wow.
Where's their Stonewall?
You know what? Maybe they
Where's
just don't
their
have no.
Bastards of the Party documentary? Yeah.
Maybe they just don't have no issues.
Well, they all
Nah.
go to Vegas once a year and have orgies. That's a fact.
Well, that's probably stop. That's a fact. That is rooted in reality, sir.
no, no hesitation, no fear of anything litigious.
No,
That's a fact.
that's a
All of them.
fact. Midget
No
orgy.
exception.
No, all
Look,
of them.
They
All of them go.
go into the internet. You'll see what
government.
I'm talking
I'm
about.
not gonna Google midget orgy. Just so you know, I'm not doing it. I refuse. I absolutely refuse to Google midget orgy, bro. I'm not doing it.
I'm just saying.
That's
There's a reason why in the army there's high rape and missing women, and in the navy none of that going on in the navy.
Hmm. Well, all I know is midgets seem to be chill. They seem to be pretty chill. They don't seem to be upset about a lot of things. They're hanging out. They're not out here complaining about the words people use to describe them. When's the last time you heard like a midget be like, "Oh, that's not the proper terminology. You're supposed to call." They're not doing all that. Maybe they are having annual orgies, bro. Because what's keeping them so calm? I just seen a post. I sent it to you guys where people who are disabled are complaining about the term special needs. They don't like the term special needs. They're like, yo, fuck you. You're a bigot. I don't have special needs, fucker. Well, actually, everybody else can walk up the stairs. We don't need a ramp. So, technically, I mean, ain't that a am I
but
wrong?
this is what all of these. Okay, you're not wrong,
This is why he
but
wants to see
listen
midgets
to how
rise in power.
bad that sounds when it left your lips. It was absolutely true, but it sounds indefensibly bad, and that's the fine line that everything walks now. It's plain as day, but if you say it, you're kind of fucked up.
Right.
So it's a dare.
How
Like
is
I
that not a
dare.
special need? How is that not a special need? All of us can get in this building but you.
Look, if you want to give up your parking space, just let me know.
Oh, that's not special? That's not a special parking spot? I need to be right in front. No, you're just like
That
the
would
rest
be
of us.
big. Right, right.
You're just like the rest
You're,
of us.
you're right next to the door. That's pretty special.
That's special, Bree. I'm
Kind of
sorry.
a special spot.
You can't have it both ways, motherfucker.
What else can park here? Why? What's so special about this spot?
Right, why can't you park in the back of the mall where there's no trees and you got to be in the sun, and when you get
With your
back, your
tiny
seat's going to
little
burn your.
non-militant legs.
Right.
Yeah.
And the seat's not even going to burn your legs. I'm serious. This ain't even right.
Let's have this debate. Like I'm serious. If y'all willing to give up your parking space, then I'll stop calling you guys special needs.
Yeah, I'll never say special needs again.
Never
If
in my life.
yeah, I'll never say it again. I'll never say it again. You can have it. You
We
can
found
absolutely
the
have
slur
whatever
of
you
the
want.
year 2356.
Special needs is the slur of the.
We're a couple hundred years ahead of the game. Fucking specials.
Specials. You're so special.
Get out of my yard.
Gosh,
Goddamn.
dude.
Now, let's be honest. Your Olympics is kind of special.
Right. Well, you know what? That shouldn't. That I don't know about that shit, bro. I don't know about that shit. I don't know about that shit. I'm sorry. Some of it, like okay, like wheelchair racing. Some of that shit is cool, but when you got those cerebral palsy people running a race, that shit ain't right, b. That shit ain't right. There's way more people laughing at this than people who are authentically cheering for one kid to beat the other kid. That's
I
it's
think
not
that
right.
I think the only audience in those certain events has to be just family members. I don't I don't think there's like a normal person that
And
goes
people
in
who are
there.
baked, people who are baked out of their minds. Let's go to the Special Olympics, bro. Let's take some acid and go to the Special Olympics.
Because I'm sorry, I will be laughing my ass off. Like as mature as I try to be,
Right.
and as an adult that I am, there's gonna be a little giggle
I
at some
wouldn't.
point. At some point in the event.
I wouldn't laugh if I saw a kid, like a person on a train or on a bus or at a restaurant who was a paraplegic. I wouldn't laugh.
No,
But if you're a paraplegic and you throw in a javelin, I'm saying, son. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking laugh. I'm sorry.
and then they put you on the mic to talk.
Oh, I'm gonna laugh.
Boobies! I like boobies!
It's not right.
You're asking me to not be myself at this point.
It's
No,
not right.
but people say I forget who did the movie The Ringer, where he pretends to be special needs so that he could win, and we're kind of going through that now.
We're
with
already
the whole
here.
gender thing.
We're
Oh,
Right,
it was
right,
Johnny
that's what I'm
Knoxville. It was Jackass.
Right. So the thing is people like that's so terrible. Can you believe you would pretend to be special needs just so you can win the competition? Like that's the outrage. And I always thought about that. It's like, can you believe that we have a competition where we make people that are genetically predisposed to being bad at these things parade themselves
Right.
out for everybody to view? Like after that was pitched, nobody was like, I don't know. This kind of feels exploitative. It kind of no, it gives them a sense of pride. Like cleaning the toilets, Jimmy feels really good after he cleans it. Look at I cleaned the toilet, and he's happy. He's happy. He's happy as a pet hamster. He gets like, super excited about that shit. He's not very coordinated. Why
Well,
do we want to put him through the hurdles?
it's terrible.
Why do we want to see him hurdle jump and trip over every last fucking hurdle? As as somebody who has no control over anything below their neck, like slugs across the trail to get to
It's not right.
this seems horrific.
It is.
It would be like, look, okay, so we're gonna do the NBA, but here's the rules: only Jews and Asians under 5 feet. The rim is staying the same height.
Oh, boy.
Everything about it, but listen, and you can't watch anything else. There's an NBA lockout. NBC's behind it. Nothing can be broadcast. Not even the WNBA. Not even the WNBA. The only thing you can watch is these tiny Semitic and Asian men that are under 5 foot play basketball against each other. That feels like that's what the Special Olympics is. You're taking people who just aren't going to be good at it. There's a lot of people who can do what they're doing better, and it feels like this is the scrub court of life. Like there's the Olympics, and then there's the scrub Olympics. You're a scrub. You don't do this well. Like and it's not your fault. You know what? I'll even go further. I think the whole thing. I think it's like a eugenics ritual kind of thing. I think that's the thing. I think it's like a parade of look, like this is why we need to have abortion. Like that's what I feel like it is.
Oh my.
I feel like it's propaganda to put out there so because it can't generate money, right? It goes by donations. It's charitable donations that are
If it
making this
goes-
thing.
If it goes by donations, they're making a shitload of money.
I don't know. I don't know. Do
But
people
how
are really
much?
giving that much money
How much
constantly to
money?
make this a thing?
But that's
It's
what I'm
not
saying.
selling advertising
But that's what I'm saying. How much? Think about the amount of money that's being received, and think about the amount of
to
money
make
they're
it
putting
happen.
it to make it happen.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably you probably go into like the Olympic Village
We
and
don't
it's
need the
just like
hurdles.
boiled eggs.
We don't need the hurdles.
Yeah.
They can't jump over them.
That shit
So
look like
you
fire festival food.
You give them bologna sandwiches. Everything's great.
Yeah,
Yes. But
dude.
it's like, it's some eugenic shit. It's like, look, this is see if you don't let us fuck around with genetic codes, look at this shit. Look at this shit that can happen naturally. One chromosome fucks up, look at the whole recipe is fucked. Look at this. This is what we want. Let us kill your babies and maybe eat a few of them. And please just let us, fuck with some genetic coding. First we'll do it with the food supply, and eventually when you get comfortable with it, all your beef will be cloned, and we'll start fucking with your baby's DNA in the womb. Even for shit that's vain. You want green eyes. Let's give them green eyes. We just got to move some G's and some C's around. Let's just move them around.
Dude, you might be onto something, dude. I mean, this could be,
It's a
uh,
ritual.
it could be a ritualistic eugenic display. It really could be because when you put these people on display like that, the only people who are gonna really truly get joy out of those performances are the parents, and a small percentage of the parents. Because if your kid loses to, never mind. But just, I'm just saying, it just seems like a bad situation all the way around. But also, think about what's happening in sports right now with biological males competing against females. What's gonna happen when people who are like, I was born 3 days premature, so I can be in the Special Olympics, and they're just regular athletes out there smoking these motherfuckers?
Can't wait.
I
We
will be
gotta.
there
What's
front
the
row seat.
what's the lowest level of disability that can get you into the spec? That's the question. What's the lowest level of disability that can get you into the Special Olympics?
They're
But that
probably
word,
hand picking them, man.
that word itself is such in the air. Because what is a disability? Like I have PTSD. That's a
Nah,
disability. You see what I'm saying? Like so.
All right, then you got
That's
Marines against people with Down syndrome.
nah,
yeah.
nah. They have
It's
tryouts, and if you do too well, you don't get a call back. That's how
Nice. So
that
it's
shit
like
goes.
reverse sports.
Absolutely. If you're too coordinated, if you're too good, you don't get called back. You have to be an embarrassment.
Oh my
You look like
god,
what you're doing.
that is
Otherwise, it's
hurtful,
not fair.
man.
Of course, it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's not to diminish the value of those people. Like I'm not. Of course,
we're
their life
fighting
has
for their
value.
rights.
Yeah, listen. I just feel like if you say that they have a different kind of intelligence, they have an awareness, but they don't socialize like the rest of us because of some genetic factors. Like that's really like something with their body or their brain doesn't work. So or work in the same way that everybody else's does, right? So for the people that are, mentally have something going on, how can they even like it's the same thing like you couldn't you how do you get consent? Like if they're not really all there, how do you know that yeah, no no no. Yes, I'm pudgy and slow and uncoordinated. Parade me around like a top tier athlete. Let me do things that I do embarrassingly unwell. Let me do that for entertainment value. I should do that because either people really care or they're really getting a good laugh. Either way, you were watching, you saw the ad, we got paid. Like there's got to be this is just there's got to be some kind of bigger agenda behind that of why you would insist on having something like that go on. However many fucking was it every 4 years is just like the regular Olympics,
I'm not too sure.
like on
Yeah.
odd. It's off like to represent the misplaced chromosome. Like it's not. It
I wouldn't be
falls not
surprised if that's what it is.
I can't really be trusted to use the bathroom on my own. I wear a diaper, but I'm gonna nail this long jump.
right, right. And listen, and you have my consent. Put me on TV. Let people watch me do this thing. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
that's
It just
it's
all of
bad.
it all of it has always just felt wrong.
Gosh, That's
If you have
terrible, bro.
regular Olympics to watch. Like, okay, I can watch this person who can do things that no other human can do. They do them faster, they more weight, whatever the competition is. This person is displaying feats of strength and speed that the rest of us can't fathom. It's an anomaly how good this person is.
So is the Special
Now,
Olympics.
right now, we're gonna have
They're anomalies for sure.
do those same exact things, but if they didn't have any of those superhuman qualities, they were just really nature fucked them over so that they didn't have the same kind of anomaly to be super fast and super strong. It's actually the opposite for them. But let's watch them do the same thing that we watch these super fast, super strong, super coordinated people do. It's their version of it. Like by every definition of it, so we have a good version, right? And then we have a bad version. Okay, gotcha.
Mm.
All right. And we're doing the bad version. Why? Well, because we want to embarrass people through no fault of their own, had a genetic mishap on the way to the planet. That's why. Okay, gotcha.
I guess. I mean, somebody's deeply entertained by this. Somebody put a lot. They're probably laundering some money.
There's some Germans in the back room laughing because they let the Nazis in.
And then the following years, the
Look that
abortion
up.
rates spike.
Did the Special Olympics start around the time of like Operation Paperclip? We need to check the year.
Oh boy,
How
here
long
we
were
go.
Nazis here before we started? Before like, listen, we have Special
Oh,
Olympics to show them why we must kill baby and have only superior race preserve and live on. We'll show them. We'll show them through spoof Olympics.
So
We'll have
That was more of a
genetic-
Russian voice, but I got you.
yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
the Operation Paperclip ended in 1959. The first Special Olympics was held in July 1968.
Here we go.
That's
Boom.
so ugly. So ugly.
Boom.
Pretty close. They were like, listen, we just got here. Let's not
Yeah, let's just.
stop pushing too far before we
Before they find us out, let's take it slow.
Oh,
the
my.
reproduction age.
Which all Germany hosted the first Special Olympics?
Yeah.
Stop.
Germany hosted the first. Oh God.
We said it here.
Stop.
We found it all out. We solved it all. This is a eugenics project made by some German Nazi asshole who
Listen,
wanted the world to know that
Hitler
this
was-
doesn't work.
listen, there was a whole reason Hitler was pissed, the whole Jesse Owens thing.
Oh no,
You
no,
know-
okay. I was wrong. This article says this will be the first time for Germany to host the Special Olympics. The first
Oh.
Special Olympics was in Chicago.
Okay.
Was in
Okay.
Chicago, Illinois. Germany hosted it in 1977.
I feel
But
like
hey,
better
I
now.
feel like that's still the same.
Listen, it was the whole thing. I want to demonstrate the superior race. This is clearly not evidence of a superior race. We'll go ahead and put on the spoof Olympics. It was kind of like a fuck you from Argentina. Basically, like, look, you don't want me to take over the planet and rule with the master race? Fine. This is your Olympics. This is what we see when we watch you guys do everything. When we watch you doing civilization, we look down our noses, and this is what we think.
So Germany's like, this is what the rest of the world looks to us. Like, this is what
Right.
you look like to the Aryan master race. You all look like the Special Olympics. It's terrible. It's so
And
disgusting.
it's a ritual that we put out. It's a ritual that we put out. Like, isn't this ridiculous? Right. This is ridiculous. We continue to let you live.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We're gonna exterminate everybody from our castles. Here's some fresh monkeypox. Enjoy. We've got to take you off of here.
Somebody's gonna have a problem with this. Somebody
Well.
somewhere gonna have a problem with this.
This is all written down in human history. Don't blame us. We just live on this
I
planet.
didn't do it. I didn't do it. I would have never put that. I would have never suggested to bring that shit out to market.
It's horrible.
Look,
It's
Tommy
horrible
is
to watch.
Tommy is a sweet guy, but this is embarrassing. He can't. He keeps falling off whatever that fucking giant thing is in the gymnastics room. But I don't think we should broadcast this to other people. We're just watching him fall and hurt himself.
I was in a gym. I heard this whimpering coming from under the horse. I didn't know what it was.
People need to see these. Spoof
world.
Olympics from Germany.
Spoof Olympics, the Mad TV Olympics. That's
That's what they thought. They pitched it like, no, really? Do you think? No, they'll never do it. I promise you.
and they were like, we love
That's
it.
a great idea.
We love it. Green light it now. Gosh, terrible, horrible,
The
man. What is
first
this
one we
world,
can
bro?
do it, Germany. No, no, let's not do that. Not
Not
yet.
yet, not yet. Give us a little.
Next
Keep
time,
it
next time,
distant for now.
next time.
Oh man, it's terrible. What is this world right now, bro? What is this world right now? Okay, I got something I want to bring up, and I think I know. I'm pretty sure I could guess both of your points of view, probably because we've spoken about it before, but just for the record, because this is a huge conversation that's spinning around right now with people. Is it fair for people to expect holistic greatness from a person? So if you're a great athlete, should we also expect you to be a great father, a great husband, just a great person in general? And if you don't cover those other bases, does it take away from your affinity or your acceptance or whatever? Can it tarnish your legacy as an athlete or as a musician? Clearly, that's happening with R. Kelly. It's like, oh, you can't be the best singer in the world if you're a rapist. Like, I don't know if that's true, but I understand why it would sully the reputation. So there's a I don't know. She would be called a social media influencer or something like that, named B Simone, and her partner were discussing whether or not Martin Luther King should be considered a great leader, and her stance was no, because he was cheating on his wife. So you can't be considered a great leader or a great man if you're cheating on your wife, disrespecting your family, that kind of shit. So I just want, just in y'all point of view, do you think it's fair that we expect this holistic, shiny greatness from a person, or can we compartmentalize and parse out where they're good and where they're bad?
I think.
Most of us aren't great at anything. Most of us aren't great at anything. So I think the whole thing is about making the masses, us, feel okay with not being great at anything, to rip apart people who are at least great at something. You're
Mm.
not going to be great at everything. And it wasn't just cheating on his wife. He beat up white hookers.
Well, they were
and
white, so
he also, true. I mean, maybe that's a point. Maybe that's a point
yeah,
in his
he actually
favor.
gains
He
points for
did beat
that.
the shit out of some white bitches.
Yeah.
And he laughed at rape. I mean, especially now if we judge everybody by our current standards. Also, too, some of his writings in college were plagiarized, which, and to be fair, a lot of people did that. There's a lot of people with college degrees right now that got their degree because their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their wife did all their work for them, and ain't no shit.
Mm.
It it's people cheat to get the paper, but look, you know, you do one thing really, really well. I always use the Cosby example. Changed human consciousness for the better. Doesn't and stop making these people belong to groups. It's not, Martin Luther King doesn't just belong to black people. Doesn't just belong to America. Belongs to the world. Yeah, a lot of bad shit. Yeah, but way more good shit. As far as what were the issues, what was fucking up human conscious, what was poisoning people's mind and behavior towards one another, and just their overall outlooks. Like, was this a good operating system for humanity? Nah, it wasn't. So somebody saw that there was a bad operating system in the masses and was like, look, I'm going to project this message even if I don't reap the benefits from it, because it's good for humanity. It's good for the collective consciousness. You can't take that away from him. And whether it's Martin Luther King, about judging people by their character rather than their immutable characteristics, or Bill Cosby saying, look, you need to see black people in successful roles. You need to stop just seeing black people in meaningful roles. Like, nah, we're having a doctor and we're having a lawyer. It's no if and if you don't like it, fuck it, we won't do the show. Like, yeah, and I'm gonna rape 50 bitches while they sleep, but that you can't take that away from him, and because that's more than what any of his critics ever did.
I
Like,
think I think it's a Christian thing or an American thing, because I don't know how the rest of the world sees things like that. But the idea to think that a man is perfect in any way is a huge mistake to begin with. Like just because like he accidentally did something and he didn't what happened was great doesn't stop that person from making them not making mistakes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I also understand why a person in that position would want to conflate those ideas. Like, and something that was very interesting, I thought was as she was talking a few seconds into her rant, she said, "How can you be a great dad if you disrespected me? You disrespecting your kid's mother." She said me, so she was definitely internalizing deeply. You know, she was talking about her man for a minute, not necessarily Martin Luther King. So a person in her predicament, I I definitely can see why she would want to mix those things to try to pull you down from your pedestal if you're considered great at this one thing, but then you come home, you disrespect, you slap your wife around or some shit like that. The person in that position would be like, he ain't no great leader. Fuck him. He beats me when he gets home. But that doesn't necessarily take away from his leadership skills, especially if he's not leading the people to beat their wives. If that's his private business, he's still a scumbag for it. Don't get me wrong, but if he's out in the street putting in real work and trying to help people in this way, he's running a nonprofit organization and all that, and for some reason he's cheating on his wife and doing all this other shit. It would be very difficult to make that make sense other than just letting it be what it is. Would you want to stop him from being a real help to people who are out here suffering just because he's doing this other thing? And would that necessarily change? It doesn't change what he's doing. If he's doing real objective work, other things that he's doing outside of that doesn't really change the fact that people are being helped. If I feed the homeless all day and then I come home and I kick a puppy in the ribs, those people still ate that day.
What'd the puppy do though?
He shit it on the floor while I wasn't home.
See? Okay. Two sides to every story.
Exactly. That's the point. Two sides to every story. No, I mean, I heard a lot of shit about Martin Luther King and his cheating and slapping white women around and shit like that. And to me, because he was such seen as such an icon, to hear about this other side was kind of funny. Not that you should be cheating on your wife, because I think that does show low integrity. Like, so if you're telling your wife she the only one, but you out on the road banging white chicks, that's kind of low integrity, a little bit. I mean, a little bit. At the very least, you should be like, look, Coretta, I'm sorry, but I'm popping out here in these streets, and it's gonna be kind of difficult for me to not take some of this sleeve that's being offered to me while I'm out here on the road. You know, I won't bring no hookers home. I won't bring you no diseases, but while I'm out here, I'm just saying, I got to do what I got to do, and that would be more respectable than to be sneaking around and fucking, that kind of shit. But it still doesn't, to me, it doesn't have a major impact on everything else he was doing. I'm sorry, that's how I
I
feel.
think I think you could be an immoral person that's effective at championing a moral cause.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that's just, and I think the for me personally, the only it's also humans exerting in their arrogance what they always are after is godhood.
Hmm.
We want to be people's judge and jury. Like I'm gonna evaluate when really like you should always be refining your own shit. There's enough shit that you got fucked up going on with you to where it's really hard to find the time. If you really introspective and you're looking at all the fucked up wirings in your head and how you handle shit and and how you could maybe do better, it's exhausting. You're not gonna have time to really devout to it. But that's what that whole gossip shit is, and where it draws a lot of eyeballs and attention is really there's something about us wanting to be a judge and jury of somebody, especially if we kind of resent their greatness because we
Right.
ain't great. Like, you did some great shit, but you beat up white women, so you ain't shit. You plagiarized some shit, you ain't shit. You have there's still a lot of ass whippings. There's still a lot of threats. There's still a lot of FBI monitoring. There's still a lot of champion causes for poor people and having those interests resent you for it. Like, there's still a lot of shit going on with that. It's like when people are like, oh, yeah, he's big, but he takes steroids. You still got to lift a lot of fucking weights. It's not like I
Yeah.
took steroids, and there's some work involved. So I don't like to disparage people or take away the credit for what they contributed, but I just think we should just have clear, sober minds when we evaluate people and what we expect out of them. Because really, for any individual, the only degree to which you got to analyze a person's character is to the degree that you're involved with them.
Right.
If you pose a threat to me, if you're, because for the most part, look, if you're immoral or what, I don't have to deal with you on any level. I don't have to share no secrets with you. I don't got to try to get any money with you. I don't have to have any common, business ventures aligned with. I don't have to engage you whatsoever. If you really evaluate, because if you are a person that has integrity, she's just like, look, if you're willing to do that shady shit, I don't want you in charge of the checking account. I know how you get down. I don't want to deal with you on that level. Like, that's it. You could be a great father, but you're a bad employee because you steal from me. The
Right.
inverse can be true too. Like, he could be really good to his wife and his kids, but he don't really got a good work ethic. He's looking for shortcuts, and every time I hire him, he's stealing from me. So fuck that guy. I don't wanna hire him. So you could say in one end, he's good in one area of life, and another he's not. So I mean, isn't that just everybody? Isn't it
Right.
just all human beings? Like, what? I heard something recently, like Gandhi molested his nieces or some shit.
Yeah.
And one thing is like, okay, why are we looking for this information? Because there is that to it. Like I remember there was this thing going online for a while, like Malcolm X was gay. People were spreading that rumor around. I don't know if it was true, and I don't care if it was true. It doesn't change anything for me, how I evaluate people's character, actions, or whatever. But um, it it it's like, it does feel like this person stood up for or did something noble, and by you pointing that out, you just want to undermine the value of that noble thing,
Right.
when really none of us should be looking at it like that. We should be adult enough to say, yeah, this person had this noble undertaking, they did this positive work in the world, and they were also fucked up.
Right.
And why are you waiting in that reality so much? You're just fucked up. You're you're just fucked up with none of the great act part to it.
Mm.
And without fail, that's who it seems like a lot of those critics are. People, like, if you can't, so even if you disagree with a person's ideology, you disagree with their agenda, their conclusions, and their work, if they do something that's great, and I don't mean great in the sense like of good or bad, but just epic, if they complete a great, like, you got to respect and at least acknowledge that. Like, you can say, I disagree completely with your ideology and the agenda that you're pushing, but I can't front, you were effective at it. You did something great. You completed, like, you devoted your energy in a way, and you galvanized the resolve of people, and you made human consciousness shift a little bit. You made culture shift a little bit. That's not a small thing to just kind of, you know oh, well, he was kind of an asshole, so that shit doesn't count anymore. Nah, it still kind of counts.
Yeah. And
Like,
what are
both
you
things
even
can be
trying to
true.
take? What are you trying to take at this point? Like I know it was just like an illustration, an idea, but they that happened to be the name that they brung up, and she went off on a rant, and it was mostly seemed to be because of the cheating. Like that was the thing that got her pretty hot. But I mean, he only cheated on one woman. How many people did he help? I mean,
Certainly an interesting way to look at it.
I'm just saying, like this is a person, like this ain't no like, oh, they think my baby daddy's a great guy, but he cheated on me. Like that's like a one-to-one comparison. Can you be a great guy if you're treating your family bad? Like that's a one-to-one.
Well,
But
here,
can
here's, yeah, but I'm sorry. Here's another way to look at it too, though. So the hookers, he's paying them. So
mm,
he's got enough money that I'm taking care of you and the kids. This cause is moving forward. We got enough money for the hotels in Selma, and I can buy some white bitches. Things are going pretty good. Things are going pretty good. And he's a job creator on one end. And then what if you found out too that he had a couple chicks that weren't really just hookers, but sincere, genuine side pieces. And what if you found out that he was a perfect gentleman? He paid for their apartments. He made sure they were taken care of. Then it's like, he's kind of a nice guy. Like, he's taking care of his wife and his family and a couple other women. Their life is now enriched. They have more material goods, and they're happy. They're in a situation that's bringing them joy and getting their needs met, material needs and sexual needs met. Now, is he still a bad guy? Now do we spin it as he's just a horrible person? Or maybe he had a model for living that the rest of society wasn't. They just weren't ready for. If he would have had all five of those women in one house, the women weren't ready for it. Society wasn't ready for it.
Right.
But if he just very quietly made sure all their bills were always paid and was very nice to them, and they were all black women, he only beat up the white women. What if that was the case? And now as a
Oh my
tribal
gosh.
icon, do we still have to throw him away? Is there this? You can spend anything anyway, but it's just
Dare I say that that would raise his stock? And with the same women who were just scrutinizing him, they'd be like, "Oh wait, so he had black side pieces and he was paying their rent and taking care of them, but he beat up his white hookers. That's a king right there. That's a real king right there. I like
you ain't
this man,
paying no bills in this house. Martin Luther King had five bitches.
right?
He
And he
paid
beat
for
the white
five
ones.
houses. You ain't shit.
You out here taking white bitches to the prom. Martin Luther King was beating them down.
And
Fucking
paying the bills for five sisters. He's a king. He's a king. Martin Luther the
oh,
King, undeniable. So look, if you want to just be sober when you evaluate everybody. That's just got
yeah,
to be. We're adults. You're not giving an adult analysis if the way that you evaluate people is solely on what you agree with them on and what their moral failings are, and trying to reconcile that with the great things that they do. Like that's just what you're looking at is called a human.
right,
Some of
right,
us are worse than others, and I would even dare say probably those of us that are capable or are able to do something monumental, there's probably a certain set of characteristics that probably predisposes those people to some wild behavior. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it just, artistic people tend to be temperamental. They see things that the rest of people don't see. They can create things that other people can't see. And it's also like, yeah, and sometimes they operate, not always, but sometimes, you know. And I would just think that too. Like if you're just on that level and you have that much power, and public attention and influence is a kind of power, it's to amass that, to wield it, to be able to handle it, there's probably a certain set of traits there that also, you're a go-getter. And sometimes what you want to go get is pussy. I mean, I don't know.
I
I
ain't
don't know.
hating.
I don't know any man in the public eye that hasn't fucked up.
Any
I don't
person,
know any.
any
Yeah.
person. I mean, you if it's got to be a one-to-one comparison, right? So if you're gonna say he's cheating on me, that means he may not be a great husband, but you don't get to scrutinize whether or not he's a good entrepreneur.
Right.
That has nothing to do with it. Yeah. That matter of fact, he might be a better entrepreneur because he's banging his clients and closing deals. And
Mhm.
that's just something you can't understand as a wife. You're sitting at home, you're enjoying the fruits of his labor, and you're like, well, why are you fucking other women? It's like, honey, you wouldn't understand. I had to close a deal. You know, like Eddie
Get the kitchen
Murphy. He's,
done.
he's at the table with Grace Jones, and she's like, when are you going to hit this pussy? He's like, hey, I got to do it. I'm sorry. I got to do it. Yeah, that's some wild shit though. But she's all over the internet right now for those comments, and everybody is thoroughly roasting her because it's this legacy. It's like you're attacking the legacy. You didn't pick, and Kevin Samuels, right? Just that, like just scrutinizing him right now is enough to get you piled on social media. Let alone Martin Luther King. She could have
Yeah.
probably picked a better target.
People are such hypocrites though, because when people kind of do the same shit with George Washington, the founding fathers, they were geniuses. They came up with the best system ever known. I mean, they're brilliant men. These are the same people like fuck them. They ain't no shit. They own slaves. It's like, yeah, kind of a lot of rich people owned slaves then. But I mean, they still had some great ideas, right? Like you're benefiting from the great ideas and what they were able to, like, aren't we all collectively benefiting from this shit that we're trying to trivialize it? Like you're a lot of these same people are comfortable with the fact of looking at people that have done great shit and focusing in with particular scrutiny on the aspect that's the absolute worst that they want to bring attention to. So you should be familiar with this.
Yeah.
Like we do it all the time. And it's just fair. Yep, George Washington, great ideas, made some great military decisions, probably some luck, helped contribute to crafting one of the best shots at humans organizing themselves in is the fairest way as possible without the government becoming tyrannical. Like contributed to that. Bravo, there you go. Yep, also owned slaves. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Martin Luther King affected consciousness, helped legislation get passed, helped change people's opinions, set the country on a different course when it came to how comfortable America was at just completely being separate and not really liking each other and looking down on you. Like, we don't fuck with you, you don't fuck with us. Like, yeah, I don't think you get as much intermingling and crossover interaction after Martin Luther King as you do before. You just don't. Like,
Right.
obviously, he changed, did something powerful, knocked out a few white bitches. It's all together. So
Allegedly.
just that no, it would happen. That's a fact. I have to pull a doobie. It's a fact, and apply that to anybody. Apply that to LeBron. Apply that to Trump. Apply that to Biden and Nancy Pelosi. Apply it to fucking Alec Baldwin or Brad Pitt, whoever. Well, if you look at somebody long enough, they probably fucked up. Like, that's their shit. They're either on the path to be less fucked up or they don't care and they continue to be fucked up. And if they do, you don't have to fuck with them. But what's the point of aha, I caught you doing some fucked up shit, so the good shit you did doesn't matter anymore. Okay, it's a weird thing. Like, I mean, don't engineer my building that I'm gonna be living in.
Yeah.
I mean, if this engineer knows how to keep the building propped up, he might be a cheating piece of shit. I agree with you. I don't like the way Martin cheats on his wife. He's a piece of shit. I agree with you. Marty is the greatest fucking engineer we have in the country. His buildings last forever. Terry, he's really good to his wife. All of his buildings have collapsed.
Who
And
do
they
you
charge
want?
the same amount of money.
Who do you want to design your building?
I gotta pretend he's not the better fucking engineer. I gotta pretend he doesn't have a gift to do this shit well because he sucks at other aspects. Everybody sucks at something. Who gives a? That's not what you're not. You were not hired as a moral paragon. We hired you to embezzle money from all of these retarded kids falling all over each other every 3.5 years. We don't even have it on a regular schedule. But we need somebody to launder this money for the Special Olympics. You're the bet. You have some unenlightened views about retarded people, but god damn it, you can account for money in ways that we've just never seen before. You've been evading taxes for decades, and we loved what you've done. Can you please come help launder money for the super duper Special Olympics? Even though you have a basement full of retarded kids that you beat every day, but you still handle our money better than anybody. The Special Olympics would make that decision. Most people who've got money on the table would make the decision to go with the talented person rather than the moral person who sucks. And then it's
Gosh.
on you. It's you, humanity. Make more of you that are talented and don't suck as people. Where are these people? Where are the super duper talented, they don't suck as human being people? Where are they at?
They don't
Who fits
exist.
the criteria?
They don't exist. Nobody does. You know what? And I never hear. They make a lot of concessions, right? So I don't see them applying the same rules to people who create the fashion that they patronize, like the stuff that they buy. They don't make the same rules for, especially when it. Okay, I hear a lot of people complain about interracial dating and interracial marriage, especially those women in those groups. But none of them ever talk about Maya Angelou. They love Maya Angelou, and she married 3 different white men. But they love her. She's the soundtrack to their soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, they never look at her as any type of. If anything, they'll blame black men for not being good enough for her to marry. She had no other choice. She had to marry white men because black dudes suck or whatever. But they won't turn that same lens on the people that they love. And that's why, overall, it's not worth engaging with people on this kind of shit, because we know that they're hypocrites. We know they are. We know they're hypocrites. These are the people who are going to make one rule for themselves and the people that they dig, and another rule for everybody else. This is, I mean, how many times do we have to see it before we just accept that that's the reality of how humans process things? Fuck you, hooray for me. That's their motto. That's how they roll. And they're not going to admit it when you pull it out to them, when you say, what about Maya Angelou? They're gonna keep spinning. They're just gonna keep. Well, Maya Angelou was abused by a black man, and that's why she. Or whatever they're gonna say, whatever they're gonna say, they're just gonna make more and more excuses. And in that conversation, whoever is the more rational person is either gonna walk away or lose their mind. Because the people who are talking that hypocritical, double standard bullshit, they're gonna be fine. They're not going to feel no cognitive dissonance. They're going to be fine. The only person who's going to freak out and have a fucking aneurysm is the person who's trying to follow reasoning and logic. You're going to be screaming, looking like a psycho.
Yes.
And they're just going to be standing there like, so what? He shouldn't like white girls. Like, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I saw the one chick, Cynthia G. She's famous, though. She's got a whole channel based off of why black men are terrible and they shouldn't be married. Like when all black women should go find other races of men to appreciate them. And she said, which I'm not opposed to that. Go get happiness wherever you can find it. It's fair. But she said LeBron James' son was taking a white woman to the prom because his father likes white women. But I'm like, his LeBron James is married to a black woman. And she's like, yeah, but he might be married to a black woman, but what he truly desires is a woman of no color. And that's why his son is dating women of no color. Like that's her wordology that she uses. I guess white might get you flagged, so she says no color. And it's just an interesting concept. Like even when, like her initial complaint is too many black men idolize, date, worship, have sex with, all marry white women, non-black women. So then you have a high profile athlete, right? The men that they're all looking for, those are the ones they complain about most marrying outside their race because they feel entitled to this guy's money. And this goes on both sides, not just women. I've heard black men use this argument. He says that black women betrayed the community by spending money on beauty products. So you've betrayed the black community by siphoning billions of dollars a year out of the community and spending it with Koreans and everybody else who own these beauty supply shops and shit like that. So what she's saying is that you're taking money out of the black community by marrying a white woman. I've never really understood that because you can still be active and do all kinds of shit. Like you have one wife and she gets the benefit of being your wife and the lifestyle that comes with. But as far as they're concerned, you've taken away from the entirety of the black community because you have this one woman who gets to experience the lifestyle that your money can afford. So high profile athlete, high earning person. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody sees him. He marries a black woman. Totally breaks all the stereotypes of what black athletes do, so to speak. And then his son decides to take a white girl to the prom, and then you get to retroactively pin that back on his father, even though I don't know. It just makes zero logical sense. It makes no sense at all. But they're standing on it. Like it's his fault. Why did you do this? They're really on Twitter roasting him, talking about, of course, all the names they call him because I don't even know where the kid lives at, but could it possibly be that that's just the person that he likes at his school or whatever? Like, could it just be her? And maybe he's just taking her to prom. That don't mean he's gonna marry her or nothing like that. It's the prom, bro. How many people are married to the girl they went to prom with? Like, what are the odds on that? It's just a date. But they decided to take to social media and completely, I ain't gonna say destroy, but because I don't think he gives a shit. But
and prom is a child fucking ritual. I mean the prom is we're sending our kids off to go fuck behind our backs.
Yeah, that's true.
This is an acknowledged thing, right? Like
Yeah.
we all know this. Like you don't go to prom to not fuck.
Right.
Which is
Right.
what I never got. Like why would anybody be like, all right, Sally, get out there. Let Timmy take you to the like he's gonna fuck your daughter. You don't let you no, you can't go. No, you're not going to prom. Of course not.
Yeah, that's a painful day if you got a daughter, right? But it's high fives if you got a son.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like there you go. Go
Yeah,
deflower
son.
somebody's daughter.
Yeah,
Get out there, champ.
Smash her hard from behind. Don't look her in the eyes. She'll fucking hypnotize you.
this is they can't go after him. They want to make an issue out of it. They want to make hay out of it, and he's just a kid. You kind of you're kind of really punching down and really showing yourself to be an asshole. And that's what they're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, they are going after the kid, but so that they're not seen as complete assholes, they have to put it on his dad. Like this is a
Right. Okay.
latent
Yeah. Yeah.
urge from the dad that's been projected onto the son. So he's vicariously getting white pussy because
Right.
his son Bronny is getting white pussy. So
Right.
that's how you're. So we want to, and it's just a way to make it an issue and bring somebody again. Bitches that can't score 30 points a game, haven't brought home titles to different cities, you know, have never done anything great on that level. Downing a man who is, I can't stand LeBron James, but you can't front that, he does something that people are incredibly mesmerized by, and he's made billions of dollars as a result. He's great.
I think the main point is they haven't been able to garner the attention of a person who can score 30 points a game. That's
Yep, and
that's
they're
kind of
not
what
in
it
the
comes
gym
down
to
to.
score it themselves.
Oh well, why would they
They're
ever do
not.
that?
They're not willing to do the calf raises.
No, that's not
They're
what
not
women
willing
do.
to do the squat machines.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Oh,
That's not what women do. Women don't want to win the race. They want to meet the winners at the finish line and fuck them. I mean, that just seems to be what it is. Because as a man, you're supposed to. Not only are you supposed to win the race or run the race,
you're
you're
a bitch
supposed
if
to
you
have
don't.
a deep genetic need to participate in this competition to impress me, right? So your need for competition, your respect of the competition, your love of the game is supposed to drive you to do all these things. But somehow, with all that love of competition and respect for the game, you're supposed to look at me sitting on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing but having butt injections and lip injections. That's supposed to make you fawn over me. Like, why wouldn't he fawn over another athlete, a female athlete, or
Listen,
somebody who's
can't
super accomplished? Why would he just pick you, who's standing there waiting to fuck the winner? What would appeal to him about you?
can't I just fuck you because I'm nice to you? Do I have to
No.
murder the whole neighboring tribe and burn down their village? To
Yes.
get, do I have to? Do I have to compete in this race amongst tribes to see who can murder each other and get all the resources first, and then have the upper? What if I just want to disengage this whole endeavor? I don't deserve you. No, you have to do that. You have to. If there's something wrong with you, if you're not willing to go out there and murder an entire village on my behalf, you don't deserve to scoop me up and carry me away onto your ship. You ain't shit. You're a bitch. Bitch.
If, the face that launched 1,000 ships, right?
Right.
Helen of Troy.
Yep.
That's
She
all.
wasn't an ugly bitch.
Just all she was known for is being pretty enough to where you can kidnap and rape any bitch in this whole kingdom. But if you take Helen, we coming.
She looks that good.
She looks
Now,
that good.
Susan, Susan will send out a small boy with a lantern and hope to find her. But Helen was sending 1,000 boats.
Yeah, we'll burn down your whole fucking town. We'll kill everything that moves over there over Helen. And only one person's gonna get the banger.
Yep. But thousands of men will die and abandon their families for this pretty bitch.
Bring back my Helen. The fuck out of here, yo. But that's what it is. I don't even understand why
No,
women
I
would
want, but I
accept
want to
that.
see that war council.
Yeah.
The other guy's like, sir, so this, what is it, Troy? Do they have any material resources? They have like cobalt or minerals or anything? No, they just have my woman. All right, well, if we take over their land, like there's a lot of infrastructure we're gonna have to keep up with. Like, isn't it gonna make us bankrupt? Absolutely. And we don't really get it like a geopolitical benefit. Like they're kind of like on this weird border, and it's actually going to cost us more money in the long run to defend that wall. I think we should just let them keep the bitch. Nobody talked sense in them. He's like, no, they have her. I'm gonna fuck her. I'm putting the whole country. I will risk all of your lives to get her back.
To get her back. Well,
Just
what are we gonna get out of this? Nothing. I mean,
nothing.
I just want my bitch back.
Right. You can, I don't know. It does seem a little silly if you that's the problem. If you have when you have dictators, when you have tyranny and one person can just make everything go in one particular way, that's the kind of outcomes you get. You get stupid shit. And that, I guess that's kind of what we have now. It's like, listen, everyone else is going to die and go broke, but we're going to make a lot of money.
And
So
this is the way.
you guys got to go to war. You guys got to go blow up some shit.
Shit
It's
don't make
oil,
no sense.
Halliburton, some poppy seeds. I don't know. But we're going to get paid. So just get out there, boys.
It makes no sense. And even when, like, there was a time when it made sense. Like, there was a time when, it was in your best interest to find a big, tough motherfucker who could kill people and stop people from killing you. That's who you have your babies with. That makes sense. But over time, as things evolve, your sensibilities have to evolve too. Like, you don't get to go from being a complete damsel in distress. I paid your father a dowry, now I own you, to being multi-millionaire earners, possibly, moving in the world however you want to move. You can drive, you got a bank account, you own land, like, you're doing all of this shit, but you still feel like you don't have to necessarily have anything to offer, because the things that they accomplish for themselves, and I'm going by the way they explain it, the things that women accomplish for themselves will never benefit the men who they link themselves to. So if a man is a millionaire, he has no problem. First, he has no problem finding a woman who fucking does nothing for a living. She could work at McDonald's. If she got the right face and the right body, the right sensibility, she's cool, he'll take her and move her into the mansion, no problem. If a woman is rich, to find a man that works at McDonald's is disgusting. She doesn't see her wealth as an opportunity to raise somebody else up or to protect somebody. And then on a cellular level, she feels like that's not her duty to do it. And that's what I don't understand. It's like you're not even you're positioning yourself in this thing that we consider a masculine type of energy and a masculine position. I'm a boss bitch, all that shit. But you don't take on all the full responsibility of it. If you say, yeah, I'm taking care of my husband, my wife, and my kids. I'm paying all the bills for my wife and my kids. That's like, yeah, motherfucker, you supposed to. If a woman says I'm paying all the bills for my husband and my kids, they're like, bitch, you better get you a better man.
This is
That's what her
true.
friends are gonna tell her. They're gonna be like, oh, you playing yourself. Fuck, leave him and find this other guy and blah blah blah. So they don't take on the full responsibilities of it. And I think that's why it's mostly backfiring, because they're dressing themselves in the things that they think, in the things that make men attractive to them. They're not really considering what makes women attractive to men. It's not a one to one. It's not an equal comparison. These dudes fresh and fit. Like, there's some goofballs sometimes, but they say this shit all the time. Like, they ask women on their show, if a man came, you went to have a date with him, and when he shows up on a date, he starts bragging about his shoes and his jewelry and the new clothes that he bought. It's like, oh girl, I got these new red bottoms. They'd be like, yo, they'd be disgusted. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're disgusting.
He's a
But
high value man.
that's the same way that they don't consider that when they tell men, I got this job, I got a bachelor's degree and all that shit. He's like, I don't give a fuck, because that doesn't benefit me. Are you gonna you gonna put me up in an apartment and pay for my lifestyle? No, exactly. So why do I care that you got a bachelor's degree? You're still just a box that I need to bury myself in a couple times a week. It doesn't matter.
Those guys are feds. I hate those guys.
Nah, they're goofballs. They're absolute goofballs. Their show is 100% loaded. It's true as it is. Like, now, don't get me wrong. So let me explain. When they're discussing the dynamic that they're discussing, if you're a man and you say, I want a woman who is submissive and fit, you got to have this type of body fat percentage, you got to cook, if you got those type of requirements for a woman, you should understand that that woman's requirements may have something to do with your bank account, the job that you have, the car that you drive. These things go together. That's just what it is. Now, if you start talking about shit like integrity, then that's a different conversation. But they're talking about assets, possessions, security, future, all of that kind of shit. So this is a one to one. So when they're discussing those parameters, everything that they're saying is absolutely correct. But that is not the recipe for a long-term, healthy, holistically balanced relationship. That's not what that is. What they're telling you is how to get a firm contractual agreement with another human being. So you can live this way. I'll take care of you as long as I get the box and I can bang other women. She's like, all right, well, I'll cook your dinners as long as I get to buy Birkin bags and shit like that. That's just a business arrangement. And if that's what you see as something that you, if you can exist in a business arrangement for a long period of time and not lose interest, you not be, if that's how you want to live, go for it. I ain't mad. But they resent it. They hate it. Women who use sex to attract men hate men who only attracted to them because of their sex, their sexuality. Men who use money to attract women resent women who only want them for their resources. It's psychopath. They're fucking crazy, both of them.
Yeah.
They're both crazy. I don't see how you're gonna go actually purchase all the items. You're gonna go buy the car. You're gonna buy the watch. You're gonna buy the suit. You're gonna flaunt the money. You're gonna tell baby, yeah, I make 200 grand a year, all of that. But when she spots you coming in the club and she want to sink her teeth into you, that's wrong. You baited her, bro.
And men like that are stupid because if you really want that type of a contract of a woman, you can easily go to a third world country and find that.
Well, until she gets here. Once she gets
She just
here,
can't
gets
have any
the
friends.
options, and
She just can't have any friends.
Yeah,
Or
once she gets
TV.
here, she's gonna do the same thing American women do. She's gonna find a guy that slaps her around on Fridays. She's gonna start fucking him. She's a bad boy. Because the guy who's going to go to a third world country, I don't give a fuck what you say. If you go into a third world country to find a submissive wife, you're a simp. You're a simp, and you're escaping the women who got claws and fangs. You going to get the women who you think are still helpless, damsels in distress. So you don't want to play in your league. You're like you're Leah Thompson. That's what you are. You don't want to swim against the men. You want to swim against the people that you have an intrinsic that you have an intrinsic leg up on. That's who you want to swim against.
Yes, the dating Special Olympics. That's
Yeah,
what you're doing.
you want to stretch your money. The dollar over here is like, I go to a country where $1 equals 1,500 pesos. I'm gonna
Now
really
what?
smack them bitches in the head. Damn, boy, I could get
That's
three
right.
of y'all. They're gonna be cooking me cheese grits in the morning. Yeah,
And they're not
motherfucker,
gonna
because you
say shit.
paid.
And they're not gonna say shit.
Bro, they on YouTube with their feet kicked up. They on YouTube with their feet kicked up, getting massaged by Thai women and shit. The woman's cooking for him. He's like, look at the life I'm living in Thailand. They might cut your throat and empty your bank account before this is all said and done. This ain't because you're
Right.
such a hot dude and she loves your pipe so much she's making you cheese grits. You're a cash cow, B. Like, why do you think there's something else going on here? Is it just me? No, it's the delusion. It's the same delusion that these women go out and get these motherfucking these BBLs and the lip injections, and then they get on TikTok
Horrible.
and Instagram,
Horrible.
and they shaking their asses and, oh yeah, pussy's so good. Oh, no, you're a sex doll. You're a sex doll. He's masturbating in you.
I want to throw it out there too. All you women who get BBLs, your bodies look like horrible elephants. It doesn't look appealing. It's horrible. If I take you out to the beach, your booty will not float.
Why would you take a whore to the beach?
Man, I want to see the water.
I'm sorry. What is a BBL? Forgive me. I'm sorry.
No,
Brazilian butt lift.
yeah,
Ah, okay.
it's the Kardashian.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Kardashian, where your butt looked like a wet diaper.
But if you look at
Yeah.
it at the right angle, you can see that it was manufactured.
But you know who loves it though? People who consistently buy pussy, like rappers, basketball players, like the guys who be out on the town. So you only got a few minutes to convince this man to spend his money on you. It's not about your personality. You're not going to get a chance to sit down and sweet talk him. He needs to see your silhouette from far away. So you get your ass pumped up, your boobs pumped
While
up.
he's drunk.
While he's drunk, your lips pumped up, you look like a fucking distorted Jessica Rabbit. And in his mind, like, this is so far out of the realm of reality, it's a fantasy fuck. It's a fantasy fuck. Nobody wants to look at you in real life. Like, nobody wants to see you walking around the house in your regular skin. Because you look like a dead, bloated animal.
It's the I'm gonna get you sucker skin.
Right.
Like, he takes the girl to the house and she takes everything off her leg and everything.
Dude, could you imagine? You see what they look like? Like, could you imagine seeing her? Like, you just wake up on a Tuesday morning, and this bitch is sitting in your living room. She ain't got no makeup on. Her lips is all fucking crazy looking. Her ass is deflating. Her tits don't look right. You ain't gonna be happy. Oh damn.
That's happened to me.
Let's
I
talk
went
about
to the-
that.
I went to the club and took a girl back. It was me and my homeboy. We took the girl back, and like she just instantly like contacts came off, glasses came on,
What?
wig came off.
Wig.
Wig came off.
She don't give a
Makeup
fuck.
washed out her face. it was.
Was that wait? Was that before or after you smashed?
We didn't smash. I would assume she probably did that for safety reasons, thinking that we were gonna do something
right,
crazy.
Yeah, she didn't want to.
Yeah, yeah. which it didn't matter to me anyways. I didn't care about none of that. But it's just the
You
whole
would
thing
have
happened.
assaulted her regardless, is what you're saying. Did I hear that correctly?
I'm not answering that.
Yeah, she did. That's what she did. She didn't want to fuck, so she was
Yeah.
like, she wanted to ride home from the club. She wanted a safe place to sleep or something, but she ain't want to smash. So she took all her fucking, she took all her magic
I
off.
was just amazed. I'm like, this is exactly like I'm gonna get you, suck.
Damn.
I was amazed by the whole thing. I was just amazed by the whole thing. I just started sobering up, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Dude, I don't know, man. I couldn't. I don't know, dude. It's just it's something about the way the whole thing looks to me. It's just repulsive. I don't really understand. And for sex workers, it makes perfect sense. You know, you in the club, you on a stripper pole and shit like that. The
But
lights
that's
are
what
dim.
they are. They're
Right.
sex
It makes
workers.
sense. But
That's
for
what they
regular
are.
people, as a regular human, you look goofy as fuck, bro. You look crazy. You belong in a
Look,
fucking brothel.
women deny the fact that they have to cross the line of sex work at some point, especially if they want to like go to these nightclubs and go hang out and party. Like that's the problem with women who are 30 something years old, that they have to compete with these 20 something. So they have to do all this shit. You're 30 something years old with a degree, house, money, and then you have to tell yourself that I have to compete with a 20-year-old woman who has these natural gifts.
Mm. Well, I don't think I don't think it's any real competition going on, honestly, other than for, you know, just for the time being, for the moment. Who's gonna buy me drinks? Who's gonna bang me tonight? But I don't think any of them have real long term plans when it comes to, because so that's what I'm saying. It's not a real competition. This is just a pickup game. This ain't no championship shit. You're not thinking long term. You're in the park. You balling for the weekend. Then you're just gonna go back home. So why would you go that far for something that's only gonna be a 2 night stand or some shit like
I
that?
don't know, man. I've seen some botched booty work, bro, and I don't understand like what make you think that thing looks good to other people.
Mental illness. Mental illness. All that's just mental illness. I'm sorry. If you go out of the house and your head and neck is a different shade than your chest and arms, you crazy. You crazy. Their whole head be 2 shades paler than the rest of their body because they got the wrong foundation color. They put on lipstick that goes outside their actual lips. The only time I seen shit like that growing up was when you would see a bag lady, like a homeless lady with a shopping cart and garbage bags in it. Her lipstick would go outside her lips because she was crazy. Now they do that on purpose to make their, that's like a technique to make your lips look bigger.
You saw the future without realizing.
Right, right. Trash bitches
Larry
with
Mandel
bad
moment.
makeup. Trash bitches with bad makeup. That's what this is. Now, you
It was a
realize
vision.
the only way that this actually makes your lips look bigger is from afar or in a photo where you're not right up close. But once somebody walk up to you and you face to face talking, I see your lipstick outside the line of your lips, and that makes me feel like you're a psychopath.
Man, it's an argument that I have all the time with women, and the main reason I have the argument is you're not doing this for men, because men don't give a fuck.
Right.
Just say I'm gonna open my legs, and they don't care. Like,
Well, some
that's
do.
it.
Some do. I will say some do because a lot of the
Yeah,
guys
some.
who they target, a lot of the men who they target have a standard when it comes to who they want to be seen with.
And
So
those guys have secret homosexual desires.
true,
Facts.
true. I've said a lot. I've said for a long time.
Shouldn't give a fuck
I've,
about what wig she got on the next day.
I've said for a long time that if you're one of those men who identify with, you know, if you have a need for your woman to be all sexed up in public, like you want her to have the tits and the lips, and like that's what you require from your woman, I say you it's more likely that you want to be her than be with her, because what I think you're doing is vicariously trying to inspire sexual arousal in other men through your woman. That's what they're doing. They're trying to influence boners. But you can't do it yourself. Like you can't go make the guy have a boner. So you get a chick who you think will give the guy a boner, and then you
Hey,
claim
man.
the boner because that's your girl.
I don't deny
Boner
it.
machine. I made that boner with my beard.
My beard gave that guy a boner. So basically, I gave him a boner. So I'm hot.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did that.
that's what it is. Yep. If you see your woman, if you pick her up and you like, why your nails not done? You like, oh, see, I know what you're doing. Cause you like,
You
if
want
I
me
was
to be a
if
boner maker.
he's like, if I was a bad bitch, my nails would be done. Trust me, that's what he's thinking to himself. If I was a bad bitch, my titties would be out right now, girl. I've said it.
Be
I'm saying because
shaking my
I know men,
ass.
I know dudes who have said in front of me, talking about women and all that. I gotta have a bang. If other people don't want to bang my chick, I don't want her. You need other men to want to fuck your woman. So you just want to sexually arouse other men, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's all I hear. So, and hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's not that you can't be my friend no more. That's not what this is. But let's just be honest about what's happening here. The woman is just a middleman. She's the Chinese finger trap condom between you and the other man.
People need transbonerism awareness. There's not a lot of people that know the plight of people
Transboner awareness.
that want to cause boners, but they can't. So
Right.
they use their hot girlfriends to make boners that they themselves would want to induce, but are simply unable. And this is their way. This is the way
VB
that they express themselves.
VBEA, Vicarious Boners Escort Agency. If you want a woman like, and these escorts are not really here to bang you. What they're here to do is you take them to a party, and the guy you want to impress gets a boner by your girl. Then that way he kind of respects you more because you were able to lock down a girl that he wants to bang. So technically, you guys can just go ahead and bang each other now.
Vicariously induced boner enterprises.
Vibe. You want to catch a vibe of vicariously induced boner enterprises?
Getting some serious boner vibes over here, Teddy. Who is
Wow.
this?
That's what it is. That's I'm sorry. Your lady looks like she's bubbly with the blonde hair and the big lips. She can barely walk in her mini skirt, but you got on a respectable suit. You chill.
This
You nice and respectable. You got your tie and shit, but your wife looks like an absolute. Your lady looks like an absolute bimbo. Her tits are spilling out of her dress. She's got on red lipstick to mimic her excited vulva, and that's what you're doing. You bringing her in public so you can be like, yeah, you see what I did? I got this thing. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
Boner
boner
inducing.
Wi-Fi. It's fucking it's my boner
Boner
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Vicarious boners. I'm sorry, fellas, but if you think about what you want from your lady, right? If you're thinking about that and you want deeply within yourself, you want your woman to be uh, desired, sexually desired by other men, you might want to sit with that for a few minutes and tug on that and see what's on the other side of that knot. There's something there you ain't admitting to yourself, pal. Because I could give two shits what you think about my lady. Why would that even matter? How does that factor in to the relationship you have with the woman, whether or not other people want to fuck her?
Yeah,
Now,
but
for
this is
women,
why a lot of stuff doesn't work on you though.
yeah, yeah, probably.
You
And
need that buy-in. There needs to be an obsession and an insecurity. That's how advertising works. If you don't feel like I'm inadequate based upon the approval of others,
right,
then you're
yeah,
not susceptible to that. That's what it is.
yeah,
It's like, oh, everybody wants to fuck my girl. This means I'm good enough. This
right.
means I've arrived. That
Having
shit
the
don't.
girl is not good enough. That's not where it ends.
No,
Other
that bitch
people
ain't boner
wanting
Wi-Fi. Fuck is the point of her?
she's not beaming boners into other guys' heads
Can
on
I
my command. So
can I bring you into a room and give everybody a boner? If not, why would I even want to be with you?
right,
Why would I want to get to know you and build a family with you? You
right.
can't even give everyone in the room a boner.
It's not working out. Sorry, honey, it's not working out because not enough guys get hard for you. There's not enough men who get hard for you. So I mean, I can't. I need somebody who's gonna lift those pipes.
If I'm bringing you to my 20th high school reunion, if everybody there is not going to get a boner to know that I've achieved, hey, Donnie, it's great to see you. Man, look, we're all hard for your wife, bro. Congratulations. Oh, I got a rager right now. I can't even, I'd get up to shake your hand, but I'd embarrass everybody. Let's just, let's just catch the vibe, man.
That's it.
It's sad, but it's true. Just
Getting
accept it.
boner vibes.
Accept it. Stop dragging these women into these equations. Just go out and give men boners yourself, bro.
It's the
Stop.
street.
Do it
It's so
yourself, you
wild.
fucking coward.
Yeah, you scared, bro?
Put on the wig, put on the makeup. Hit the corners.
Oh yeah, you
You
just
got
be
the
the girl.
same tools at your disposal.
Right. It's
Look, they got to
2022.
do it. Throw on some uncomfortable shoes, put your lipstick on the bag lady fashion, and make some boners.
That's it, bro. It's 2022. Nobody's gonna judge you.
You got
Look,
Nobody's gonna judge you.
if a
You could
man
be a
can compete against women with no issues, you can definitely put on a wig and some lipstick and hit the
yeah.
streets.
You could be a powerful CEO Monday through Thursday. Friday night, you a bad bitch.
It's Sex in the City.
you the baddest bitch who would never dare to show up with undone nails or unkempt hair.
Oh, why'd you break up with your last girlfriend? She never showed any cleavage. Her nails were never done. She wasn't giving men boners. I give more boners than she did.
I can't be with no bitch who ain't giving people boners.
You gotta at least match my
Just like
boner
that.
effort. You gotta match my boner effort. I can't have it. Can't do it.
That's gonna be in Tinder profiles. I'm really good at giving everyone boners.
Oh, so if you need to influence some boners, I'm your gal.
Yeah, bring me along. Boner Wi-Fi, making
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah. So, ladies, I'm gonna help you out with this one. If your man is the one who brings up the hair and nails, not you, like, honey, I need my hair done. If your man's like, yo, you need to get your nails done, like, put on something tighter, more sexier. If he's making those requests, he's trying to get to the boners through you. Just get out of his way, let him get straight to the boners, because that's what he wants.
They're holding them back.
You're holding him back from the boners. You're a boner blocker. She's literally cock blocking right now. She's cock blocking. Let this man be who he wants to be. Live to your highest potential, bro. Nobody's gonna judge you. Nobody's gonna say nothing bad about you. I completely support your endeavors to be the inducer of boners. You don't need her. Who's she? Leave her, man. Leave her. She's for the streets, right? That's what they say these days. She's for the
Donnie,
streets.
Donnie, it was you. It was always you.
It's always you, bro.
You were always. It was never Sheila. It was you, Donnie. You gave them boners.
That's the
Just
speech. That's the speech you're gonna hear when you and your homie go up to the cabin. You know what I'm saying? After y'all had a few beers. That's just like, I just want to admit to you, Don, it was never about Karen. It was always you. Yeah, I know when I came to the cookouts, you'd catch me staring at her tits. That was just to make you jealous, buddy. I was hoping you'd get a boner thinking about my boner. So we were both vicariously sending each other boners through her. I'm glad you finally got rid of her.
You know what? Really, I was having an internal struggle in myself. You were giving me the boner, so I looked at her tits, so I could tell myself the lie that her tits were giving me the boner.
No,
But it wasn't, Donnie. It was you.
it was always you. Now we can touch helmets. Oh, this has been a problematic episode. I'm so sorry.
From beginning to end, it's really bad.
I'm so
Really.
sorry. I don't know. It seems like we're all in rare form today. Maybe it's the retrograde. I'm blaming it on the retrograde. There was a eclipse recently. I don't know what's happening, but usually somebody's the anchor here. But we all out of bounds this week. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what's going on, but hey, it is what it is. Sometimes that's what happens. You can't be mad. Can't be mad. But this shit is good. I've seen a lot of good shit this week. I've seen a lot of very funny and impressive shit. I also just looked up a picture of Helen of Troy, and she looked like she got Habsburg jaw. That bitch shouldn't have lost 1,000 ships, bro.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you're gonna launch 1,000 ships, I mean, let it be over. I mean, come on, bro.
You always gotta question the Greeks when a white woman's involved.
Yeah. I think that's what that might be the whole thing with the Greeks and all them too, is that they went to war over one woman because they didn't want everybody to know how gay they actually were.
That's what it was about. That's what exactly it was about. It's like, look, we're gonna say it was Paris, but I really want to bang that guy, and he won't let me.
God, it's terrible.
Just rewrote history, dude.
Yeah,
I think
that's what they
it
did.
was. They were like, yo, Donnie, I don't really give a fuck about Helen. Fuck her. No. Look, they're all gonna know that we spit in each other's butts if we don't go rescue this shit. Like, we gotta get on these fucking ships and die in massive numbers.
I know they did us a favor by taking her away. She was annoying. She talked too much. She complained. She never cleaned. She can't even cook.
No, but it was a gesture. They took what they thought was the finest bitch over here. So if we
Right?
don't flip out, if we don't flip out over her, they're gonna be like, them dudes are gay. Them dudes are super gay. We took the baddest
Little
bitch.
wrestlers? No,
Nah,
stop it.
we took
Not
the
gay,
baddest bitch and they ain't do nothing. Them
right?
dudes is super gay, bro.
And, yo, that whole war, all of those dead bodies to save face,
Right.
to save face. This is more of the criminality, latent homosexuality.
Yeah,
Like,
violent. All this.
whole country invaded. Because dudes would have just come to the terms. No, you like dicks. It's okay. Just like the dicks. You don't gotta
No,
go rescue the bitch.
no, I can't. We can't let them know what we're doing over here. Because then
No,
if
what
they.
the fuck these guys up? They took Henry of Troy. We'll kill him. Henry's gone. No, Sal.
It was lost in translation. It was Henry.
Oh shit.
Oh, thank God Henry's okay.
Yeah, it was a slight mistranslation. What people don't know is in their language, the word face is very similar to the word dick. It's the dick that launched 1,000 ships. That's what it was. It's the pipe that launched 1,000 ships. Like you can't take Henry. Henry's slinging meats over here. You can't take him, bro.
His genitals were that of donkeys. It was that
That's what they called him, Henry the Centaur. That's what that was. What do you mean half horse? Like he had the body of a horse? Okay, fine.
No.
Let's just say he had the body
He
of
had
a
the
horse.
penis of a horse.
Yeah, if you say that now, the guy was half horse. Nobody would think that his back half was like a horse. He's like, oh, he was half horse. Like, oh, I know what that means.
right,
So how did they mistranslate centaur?
right. Yeah.
Oh God, we're just unraveling everything right now.
There was no mistranslation. We just perceived it as half of a horse when they were talking about his genitalia.
Oh man, dude,
Horse head. What am I gonna do with a horse head?
nothing, nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like if anything is part of the human body, it would be the bottom half.
Right, we're making. That's how the same is for mermaids too. Like no. The fish half ain't gonna be the top half. I think that bottom part to be fish.
I need them gills, bitch. I'm trying to get them gills.
I need that scaly vulva. Yeah.
Let me see that fillet, baby. I want to see it.
Yeah. So it's all sexual metaphor.
Yeah.
Everything.
It has to be because when we talk about Job, we bring up Job, like there was male angels and they wanted to fuck him. So there has to be like an underlying homosexual thing going on around the world.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah. Yeah. Of
think
course.
a lot.
Yeah. I don't think there's as much as people, the hoteps and all that, want to tell you that homosexuality is like expressly European. I don't necessarily believe that because it's too simple. It's like it wouldn't take much to figure this shit out, bro. It's not like there's some type of genetic blocker in place. There's some things that just can't happen. But this is something that can easily happen. Like, women was experimenting, especially when they had women in the brothels and shit, just waiting for dudes to come fuck them. They get them high and give them food, and they was drinking wine. You think they wasn't in there fucking touching each other and shit like that? Of course they were, because the men was coming in with 3 pumps and going to sleep. So the women had to figure it out, and just like that, dudes would be doing the same shit too. It's just too simple. If animals can figure it out, why wouldn't humans?
You know.
If monkeys can do gay shit, dolphins can do gay shit. Swans, like, they'll fuck around and 2 swans will mate for life. 2 male swans will mate for life. And then they just die because they didn't have no babies. But fuck it. They made it for life. They had fun with each other. But you think humans couldn't figure this shit out? Just as some kind of like just as a pastime? It's not that complicated.
It's ridiculous though, because it's like if you look at people, like a bunch of white people together, a bunch of black people together, whatever culture, there's always like some gay dude behind there. Always. Muslims,
Like
all of them.
pulling the strings.
Not pulling the strings, but like there's not
gay
pulling the strings,
puppeteers.
but it's just the gay cousin, like that dude's just gay. Like
Yeah,
that's
man. This in hindsight, you always go back and like, yeah, he was gay.
so
It-
so
it-
this is happening now. Just imagine like 10,000 years ago. Like that's just Henry. He's gay.
It's all dumb. I think we have a fucked up perspective, because we're coming from a culture that was suppressing the shit for so long, and like wanting to act like it didn't exist or marginalize it. You know what I mean? Like I think because it's a puritanical culture, um, that kind of made it taboo, and I don't know. I think that just anytime you make something taboo, it's gonna put more attention to it. I
But the
guess
tab
back then they were just like, look, it's they didn't have no problems with it. There was no issues with. Listen, we're gonna every 4 years we're gonna get butt naked and we're gonna wrestle each other. We're gonna slide around in oil to
Yeah.
prove who's the most manly, and pretend to fight over stolen bitches.
If you
You
bust,
know.
you lose.
the taboo though, 9 out of 10 times though, the taboo is because the guy probably got touched by an older dude, and so he hates those type of people.
Nah, but that was my understanding of Greece is like that's how it worked.
Yeah.
No, that's how it was for Greece. What
You
I'm
were
what
the
I'm saying,
understudy. Yeah.
like the guy who didn't fuck with it, like he just got touched at a young age and he didn't fuck with it. So then, like when he's older and he has power, he's like, look, I'm stopping all y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's possible. That's possible, but it does seem like a really simple equation. It's not like I don't know why people would think a whole continent would have no homosexuality while another continent has like all the homosexuality. That just
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense at all to me.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's no real scientific way to break that down. Like, oh, since it was cold, the men was fucking the men. Like
You
there's
have no knowledge of
it's
human
nothing.
history.
Nah.
You have no knowledge of the interaction humans have had with each other.
But they say that shit
Oh,
about everything though. Like, so when you listen to the Hoteps, they say that about everything. They'll be like, "Oh, fucking Europeans broke into somebody's house and stole something. That's not African." Like, oh, stealing? You don't think nobody in Africa ever took something that didn't belong to them? Like, yo, get the fuck out of here. They do that about all kinds of concepts or people, whatever it is. They'll just name something and be like, "That ain't African." Like, there's so much different shit happening in Africa. There's no
let me tell
fucking
you.
way you could say that.
Let me tell you how stupid it is, right? When they come here in America and they be like the white man this and the white man that, they collect all the American dollar. They go back home. Guess who's their butler?
Black people? They get black
It's
butlers?
yes. It's, they get another poor black person to raise their kids, open the gates in their house, and wash up their house and talk shit about them to the point they rent these people out. And so it's like the whole concept of it's black and white is ridiculous.
They need white labor force. We invented
I
this
would,
like
but that's what
we
I'm
invented
saying.
this shit like a
That
year
I
and a
would,
half
I,
ago, bro.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like I would respect you more. Like you go to Africa and just hire nothing but white butlers. Then I'm like, okay, all right, I'm with you. But like you
They're
come
taking our
back,
jobs.
like it's a
Dude, I
ridiculous
can't.
concept.
I hope I'm a ghost that I can see that when there's some Nigerian dude talking about unchecked white immigration.
Mm.
Like, they're changing the demographics of the country.
Oh
You
my
know what I'm saying? They're
gosh.
taking all our jobs. I used to be a butler. Now I can't be a butler. All of these
Yeah.
white ghost people are taking our jobs.
God, I don't know. I'd love to see it happen, but I don't know if that would be better or worse because I feel like I feel like you wouldn't feel as safe if you was rich in Africa and you had white servants. I don't think you feel safe. How do you think the white
How do you
people
how do you think the South felt? It
Yeah,
didn't
but
work out for them either.
no, but see, that's the thing, though. In the South, what they had on their side was a multi-generational training and instilling of value systems and self-hatred and the threat of, like, they had so much psychology instilled in the average slave who was born on a plantation. You,
And white people
it,
still didn't feel safe.
Well, hold on, but we're not talking about slaves. We're talking about au pairs and butlers and
but even
servants.
then, in the South, by the time you had black servants, that was on the tail end of hundreds of years of black
No, no, no.
slaves.
But I'm talking about right now. If you go to California, there's a whole bunch of white people with South American
Right,
basically
yeah.
help. The whole thing is it's a totally different culture, desperate for money, that has a higher standard of living by undercutting the labor force here. But what I'm just saying is that to see that happen in like Ghana or some shit or South Africa, like fuck, like these fucking white immigrants keep coming here and they're taking all the jobs. It's just that they're willing to work for just so little.
It would be an
because the
amazing world.
American dollar has been has finally fucking been found out for the fraud that it's been.
I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. I'd love to see a whole bunch of Boers living in the back house and serving serving hot grits to a bunch of barefoot Negroes. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. But like I said, I think that would be a less safe equation because those people are angry and hateful. They mad they don't have their apartheid no more. They'll fucking kill you in your sleep. It's possible. I don't think a Mexican Lupita is gonna stab Karen in her sleep. Like they don't have no history. Like there would
It's
be
because
no
the
reason for her to
dollar.
do it.
That's because the
They
dollar's
do
higher than the peso. They
justify
want
it.
to. They want to murder that
Nah,
motherfucker.
there was conflict. There was a lot of, if you talk to race conscious race conscious Mexicans, they'll tell you that whole a lot of those places in the Southwest are they claim as their territory. Like white people took this shit from us. This is our shit.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't
So that
jump the border. The border jumped us.
right.
That kind
They
of
have their
shit.
Plymouth Rock, yeah. So I mean, you could justify it, but it seems to be going. The Lupita stabbing Karen seems to be minimal. It seems to be minimal.
Yeah.
I just think the faster everybody gets their turn being the piece of shit, the sooner everybody can just move on. If just everybody sees it. Okay, you've seen somebody that looks like you be really great. Okay, and you've seen somebody that looks like you really suffer. Okay, do have we all figured out now that human suffering is universal? We're there now. Okay, cool, excellent.
We
Excellent.
should be. We should be. That should be the thing. We have so much that could consolidate our experience. But we keep focusing on the things that fracture and fractal us out into these groups and subgroups and subgroups. It don't make any sense. We could all just be like, we could all list off enough experiences to prove that we're all being fucked. And
Yeah,
probably by the same people: black, white, gay, straight, male, female, tall people, midgets, trans people, cis people. We're all getting fucked
militant
over.
midgets. Yeah.
Militant midgets. We're all getting fucked over by the same people. And if we could take 2 seconds to look at that and agree on that, we could probably throw away a lot of the other shit. But people are setting their way. I'm setting my ways a little bit too. I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day, and she asked me what would I do if a person, like in public, asked me what were my pronouns. I said I tell them to get the fuck away from me. Instant, because that's a load. I feel like that's a loaded question. I don't think you're really trying to engage with me if you say what are your pronouns. I'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of here, yo, get out of here. I would never. I wouldn't go out of my way to engage with a person. First of all, let me say, you're not obligated to engage with anybody about anything. So whether it's a subject, a touchy subject, like you don't have to talk to nobody. If they want to tell you their plight about being trans, it's well within your rights to fucking walk away and ignore it all. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to have nothing to say about it. And I'm not going to let people pull me into their psychosis.
It's stupid. It's all baseless bullshit. Like, why are we talking about pronouns when it's just the idea of it is you like to have a dick up your ass? Is that
Well,
is that what we're talking about?
well, that may
Is that
not
what we
necessarily be
is
true.
that what we're talking about?
That may not
What's going
necessarily be
on?
true these days. You never know. I saw, well, again, my daughter, she's deep into TikTok and she loves bringing me this shit so she can laugh at my opinions. So there are trans women. Okay, okay, this is great. There are trans women on in social media, right, who completely love their body as it is, and they recognize and they love their own pipes. They love their boyfriends who acknowledge and involve their pipes in their sexual interactions. And then there are other trans women who shame them for identifying with their penis. They're like, if you're a trans woman, you ain't supposed to like getting BJs, and your boyfriend's gay too. Like, wait, so if you're a trans woman, you ignore your penis, and if a man touches it, you're disgusted because he shouldn't want to touch it because you're a woman. So he should completely ignore it, do all the other stuff, kiss you in the mouth, everything else. But if he touches your penis, he's gay, he's a tranny chaser, and you get rid of him. You're disgusted. This one over here says, no, I like it when my boyfriend touches my penis. And then they shame her for that. So all you got to really do is sit back and watch them devour themselves. This is not a conversation that needs input from a cis hetero person. Just let them argue about who should get their penis touched and who shouldn't. There's nothing we should have to say about that. That is absolute psychosis. That's crazy people talk. as far as I'm concerned. But this is really like this is real conversations going on in the world. If you don't date a trans woman, that means you're a bigot.
Yeah,
You're a
fuck out of
bigot.
here with that.
Yeah, if you see a person, if you see a person and you're attracted to them, right? You say, "Oh, that's a cute chick," and you talk to her, her voice is weird, and you're like, "Wait, hey, wait a minute," and then she go, "Oh yeah, I'm a trans woman," and you walk away. You're a bigot. You're hateful. You're a homophobe. Because you should be willing to go through all emotions with that person like you would with anybody else because that's a legit woman. That's what that is. It's a woman.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck out of here. You can date whoever you want. What are you if you don't date fat people? You're fat phobic, right? Fat
I'm
phobic.
fat phobic.
What are you if you don't date broke people? Is that there's no word for that one yet, right? But
Brocophobe.
you're brokophobe. You're a poverty phobe. But there's so many things that people don't care about. If you say personality traits or short people, tall people, even if it's dark skin, light skin, but I personally feel like you can disqualify anybody for any reason when it comes to dating. I said before, don't use the same rules if you work in HR. Don't apply the same rules. But if you're talking about who you're going to have in your bed, you get to make all the decisions. Eye color, skin color, hair length, genital set,
It's your
anything you want.
preference.
It's totally up to you, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. No matter what the configuration, I don't give a fuck if you only want to bang fucking Middle Eastern midgets. That's completely your choice. And there shouldn't be anybody out there in the world that's like, well, I'm not a midget and I'm not from the Middle East, but you should fuck me too. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Nobody would make those kind of consent. You can't say that to a woman. You can't tell a woman. Most of this centers around who men are willing to fuck. Because you can't tell a woman, well, you got to date me even though I'm not your type because if you're some type of phobe. They're like, no.
Is this an American thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's whole video essays on this shit about why a person's genitals shouldn't decide whether or not you date them. Now, again, let me say this. I think it would be a better world if that decision didn't have so much weight on it, right? Because I think if you see somebody and you're physically attracted to them, you're sexually attracted to them, you should be able to make whatever decision you want to make as far as that's concerned. If you take off their clothes and you see a set of the genitals that you weren't expecting, you shouldn't just the next move shouldn't be murder.
Yeah, but I should be told before we reach that surprise.
I, that's and see, okay, I would have agreed with you, but I've watched too many videos where I'm like, that's a good point because at what you at what point would you ask a woman about her genitals before you get to the actual like sex?
It should be right away. If you've had surgery,
As soon as you meet her, what kind of pussy you got?
if but I'm s- but this
The
is the
brown
thing, though.
lips. I need details.
I got
you've
this
had
card right here
surgery,
with shades of brown. I need to know what color your nipples are before we take this any further.
I just need to know if you bleed every month and you have the potential of having a child. Like if you can't have those two things, then out of respect for each other, we just both need to walk away.
The thing is so much more than that because there's pheromones, there's all of these forces at work that you have no conscious reign over. You don't have any reins. There's nothing you can do. You're compelled solely based off the chemistry between you and that other person. Like it is that's the mildest form of eugenics. Your body is like, yo, I want to mate with that.
I want
I
to mate with
more
people
of
who
that.
bleed monthly and
No,
are
no, no, no.
capable of having children.
No. But what I'm saying is just like a gay person, could you if a gay man, right? He loves penis, he loves butt, he loves it. Okay,
That butt.
he's a gay dude is like, look, I know all of the other dudes that look like me. We look like each other. We dress the same. We express ourselves. We're clearly when we play on the playground, everybody knows I'm a little boy, that's a little girl, whatever, whatever. But I'm at the first age that a person is aware. Like I remember being in kindergarten, liking girls, like seeing like, ooh, I like her. I like her. She's got dark hair. She's got dark eyes. I like that. I remember being aware. Obviously, I'm not sexual at 5 or 6 years old, but you know
But you
what you have in
like
the
girls.
right, and there's nothing that anybody's got to tell you or can force that upon you. So of course, that same reality that's for a dude who has to come to terms with all of the other dudes, we all identify as the same shit is clear. They seem to like shit that I don't like. And that makes me feel weird because I like them. I don't like the girls, you know? So that's a natural thing. And we say, okay, that's it. So of course, if you're saying you can't pray the gay away, that you can't send a gay person to some electroshock therapy and you're gonna zap him enough times that he'll like pussy. If you just say, look, we understand that their wiring is different and it is what it is. You're gonna that is it for all human beings. You can't help who you're attracted to. The shit that is clown worldish that people are going to great lengths to deny is when as soon as you dress up you live in a fantasy world where how you present has nothing to do with your genitalia. You got to understand that 98% or 99% of the world doesn't operate like that. If you show up and you got titties and you got a dress and you got long hair, I expect you to not have a massive, beautiful, veiny pipe in your under your dress. You shouldn't have that. Like there's a reasonable expectation. So I get what you're saying. You don't meet somebody. Listen, I have a dick. Do you have a pussy? I just want to make sure before we get to know each other and like anything about each other that we know exactly the kinds of orifices and rods that we're all working with. I don't want there to be any confusion. So you don't have to ask that from anybody because in a sane, honest world, people's genitals are there's a correlation between their genitals and how they present. And 9 times out of 10, if a person is ambiguous, most people that are clearly heterosexual aren't going to be attracted to them.
Right.
Most dudes that are like dudes, I love pussy, I love girls, they see a chick like, Rachel Maddow when she looked like a chick was super sexy. You can see pictures of her when she was like, damn, that's a nice looking chick. Her with the man haircut now, not so much. It's not so a girl that's presenting or kind of taking on male characteristics, you're just not gonna find them attractive. And same thing with a girl. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're smaller than me. I can lift heavier things than you. I'm super duper attracted to you. It's like, nah, I like the shit about you that I can't do. Typically, that's gonna be in there. You're like you're soft and delicate. That's why I'm attracted to you. And
Well,
and now you're putting something in the mix where you're soft and attractive. That's how you're presenting. But then you got a big, throbbing member,
well,
a
let me
big,
let me
I
beautiful
put
feel
you
body.
on.
sorry. I feel sorry for women who have football shoulders, man. They have the
Oh,
worst.
hold on now.
That's
Let me
it,
put you on to something real quick. Something that I was recently introduced to is that studs, especially black studs, are saying now that men are approaching them not straight up like for sex. The way they were explaining it was that men are just being nice to them and treating them nice, and some of them are like, yo, it's weird because I'm getting a little tingle inside. Like the dude's like, yo, what up, homie? You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, yeah, them sneakers is nice though. I like your tattoos. And she's like, wait a minute, why am I getting moist?
Bro,
Like
there's
this.
studs. There's studs out there who have baby daddies.
Oh, of course, yeah, for sure. And just so you know, when a man when a man is purposely targeting a stud for and trying to have sex with her, he's trying to get some stoochie. It's called stoochie, stud coochie, bro.
He just sees the beauty that nobody else sees.
Nah, I think he's just trying to chalk one up. He's just trying to turn her out because he knows he can. He's like, I know this is all bullshit. If
And it's easy for them. It's easy because like she's confused. It's like, what's going on?
yeah, because she don't understand. She's fighting her own biology. You went outside with Jordans on, and you got a full sleeve tattoo. Son held the door open for you and complimented
My
your
dog is
tattoos,
over here telling her you got a
and now
fat
you're
ass
moist.
and everything.
Now you're moist, and you don't, and you're confused now. See what you did? Trying to fight your biology. You can't fight your biology. You like to be complimented and treated like a lady.
I've met and heard a few stories about that also.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it.
I knew one. I knew one. I ain't gonna say her name, but my homeboy, who was actually, you know what? This is funny. The homeboy I'm talking about is the same one that thinks birds aren't real. Okay, so I don't know if that has anything to do with each other, but there was this she was a stud. She was super cool. She played basketball like not no, I guess you could say professionally. She played in some kind of overseas league and shit like that. And so
That's where women basketball. That's before the WNBA. That was the pursuit for
yeah,
basketball
she
for
was out of the
women.
country
They
playing
go
ball.
out the country.
So, and what she did in her spare time was she did drag shows. And one time she made us sit through a drag show. Like she was trying to practice her routine for an upcoming drag show. So she was like, "Yo, would y'all mind if I practice it for you?" So she caught us off guard. We were smoking a spliff, and she was like, "Yo, y'all mind if I practice this drag thing for you?" And we was like, "Yeah, yeah, word up." So she goes in the back and she comes out and she has on like a suit, but it was the suit jacket, but she had no shirt on under the suit jacket. So she had like these little boobies swinging around under the suit jacket, and she had a hat on, and she was
My
lip
dog was
syncing.
lit.
She
My
was
dog was high as fuck.
Yo, she was
I
lip
gotta fuck
syncing,
that shit.
lip syncing some like Johnny Gill song or some shit like that. She was doing all the moves and dancing. And at first it's like, wait, this is weird. And then I was like, damn, she's like weirdly good at this shit. Like you could tell she put real time and energy into crafting this performance for this drag show. So by the halfway through it, I'm like, I just gotta respect the effort that she's putting in and just get past the awkwardness of watching a person lip sync in front of you.
It's great. You can admit that it was great.
Yeah, it was dope. It was cool.
Right.
It was a
And
woman. It's okay.
right.
It's
It was.
okay.
You see, that's what it was. I'm trying to like talk myself out of it. No, it was a woman, so it was like it was cool. It wasn't bad. It wasn't as uncomfortable
Your
as I thought it would
homeboy
be.
got turned on by the
Right,
experience.
and then he smashed the bitch, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, how?" He's like, "Yeah, I know, bro." And the way he told it to me was that she came after him, just kind of jumped on him, and she said some shit. The words he told me that she said was, "Don't fight it, just let it happen." And I was like, "That's rapey, bro." Like I'm just saying, that's rape talk. But nobody was mad about it.
How
Nobody was
can you
mad
get
about it.
mad by getting raped by a woman?
Right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, something must have been working because, if not, she would have been trying to play pool with a rope. And that shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? So something must have been working, and they got it done a couple times. And I was just like, "Hey, listen, son. I mean, if you could get past the beard, then." She had like a little goatee and shit. Like, hey, listen,
It's the deep voice to me,
turn the
man.
lights off, just let it be dark, and we'll do what we got to do. And she wasn't no hefty stud either, because she was a basketball player, so she was tall and thin. So I'm sure, like
Listen,
once them
when she
dude
did the
clothes came
presentation,
off,
when she did the presentation, my boy had a little hard
oh
on.
yeah, he
Bro.
made his mind up. He made his mind. I'm sitting here like, wow, this is artistry. He's like, I'm gonna fuck this
My
bitch.
dog was like, yo,
I'm gonna fuck this bearded
I'm
bitch.
fucking this bitch.
I'm fucking this Stoochie, bro.
I'm
you
gonna
over
fuck.
here, you over here excited by the artwork. He's my dog.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna.
Titties
I'm
are
gonna.
hanging out right now.
I'm gonna rip the fucking blazer and hat off this power forward and fuck the shit out of her.
That's big Reggie Miller looking bitch. I'm about to take it down. Damn, son. But yeah, hey, listen, it's a woman. Ain't a whole lot you can say about it. But yeah, it was uncomfortable at first because it was like, this is strange. But there's a whole culture. Like, this is obviously something that people are doing and people are practicing for, and like they're taking it seriously. So I just had to
Yep.
respect the fact that she had the heart to like, ask us to sit through it and shit. It was super cool. Like, you know what I mean? It was a little awkward at first, but it was cool. And someone he had a
And then
whole different set of psychological math going on than I did.
he he grabbed her by her Draymond Green hands, gave her a little kiss.
Oh shit! I ain't mad, bro. You got to get it how you get it, and obviously she needed something because and this woman, she was this stud woman. She's most of the time I knew her, she was chasing after this other girl that we knew, and the girl that we knew was just taking full advantage of the simpery because she was like a nice guy. She wasn't one of them studs that was like a fuck boy stud. You know,
Yeah.
she was trying to be a nice guy. Like, I'll take you away from all of this, and you could be my girl. And she was like, yeah, whatever, motherfucker, pay my rent, that kind of shit. And the first time I met, no, not the stud, the one that she was chasing. The first time I met her, my homeboy, same homeboy, he took me to their house, and they was having this little party. And I was like, I ain't know nobody there except him, so I was super quiet. I was in a corner and shit. And he introduced me to her, but nobody spoke to me the whole night because I was just like in my own shit. So eventually, once I got, unwound a little bit, I asked my boy, I was like, yo, where can I go roll this spliff at? He's like, oh, come on. He set me in the kitchen, and he had like a little garbage there, rolling the blunt. And as soon as I started breaking down the weed on the table, she came and sat down in front of me and started talking. Just super chatty. Like, oh, this guy just running off at the mouth. And as soon as she gave me a second to get a word in, I was like, so that's what weed do, huh? As soon as the weed come out, you get chatty, huh? And she looked at me
Exactly.
like, motherfucker, like, oh, you just gonna keep it real, huh? So from that point on, we were super cool because she respected me for not just taking the bait. I was like, oh, now you talking, bitch? And she loved it. She loved it because nobody was telling her the truth. Nobody was keeping it real with her. But she was super cool. But she was taking full fucking advantage of that stud admiration. 100%.
The
It was
world just needs honesty, man. That's just all it
absolutely,
needs. That's all it
absolutely.
needs.
Everybody would have been better off. But my whole point of saying that was most of the time I knew her, she was crying over this other girl, talking about how bad she treated her, trying to get her back. The chick had a baby daddy, and the baby daddy and the stud was beefing. There was like all this love triangle shit, all for you to just fuck our homeboy. Like what? You could have just found you a boyfriend this whole time. Like, why are you spending all this time
Bro, let a
chasing a
stud
girl who
beef
don't want you?
with my girl, bro. It's gonna.
No, the stud
We
was
all could
beefing
go
with
to
the
the
baby daddy.
bedroom.
The stud was beefing with the baby daddy. The girl was playing both sides because the
But
stud
that's
was
what
taking care of her.
that's what I'm saying. If I'm the baby daddy in that situation, I'm bringing everybody to the bedroom. Like
Right.
let's all fix this.
Right,
We can all
exactly.
fix this.
Right, you banging dudes anyway. It's not like you can't bang her baby daddy, then you get both. It's like
You know
best
what
of
I'm
both
saying?
worlds. What are y'all doing? Yeah, it was good. It was a nice little reality show that I got to watch for a while. This was back when I like first moved to Florida, and it was crazy. The people they lived across the street from me. The one dude lived across the street from me, and the first time I met him was that he had just got out of jail. And after I knew him for like 6 months, we were talking about this shit, and he was like, I don't even know what we were thinking when we first met because they found out like we rapped and shit like that, and they had no idea. So he was like, what did you think about us when you first met us? It's like, you look like you just got out of jail. And he was like, I did. The day I met you, I got out of jail. I was like, oh, okay, well, my shit is spot on. It was hilarious. It was a real deal reality show. It was some baby mama fights and all kind of wild shit. But yeah, that was a good one. Fucking stud fucker. And get that stoochie, B. I ain't mad at you.
Go
If she
for it. Get
needed
that
it.
butt.
Yeah, son, she needed it. She clearly needed it because she wasn't getting what she needed from the other women. There wasn't. There was some kind of void that she needed filled. I'm not sure what that void was that she needed filled, but I'm
You can't
guessing.
clean a chimney without a broom. At some point. At some point.
So you saying women get backed up if they don't bang men?
Man, I'm not saying it, but I've had discussions with other women
Yeah.
that said it to me, so I could only come up with the assumption.
Well, they're the most prolific purchasers of sex toys and all that shit. Like that. That's who's buying all this
The
shit is
fact
women.
you need a plastic penis should tell you.
Yes. Yes.
Should
Right.
tell you. The
Yeah.
fact that we have to buy a plastic penis. They're not buying plastic vaginas.
Is there any two gay dudes who are like, yo, we gotta go get that plastic pussy before we fuck
That's
each other
that's
tonight?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Like,
think you're right.
Damn. That's. So gay men are more efficient than gay women.
Completely more
Completely
efficient,
efficient.
undeniably.
They get more work done.
So another place where men dominate women, even
Yeah.
in being gay.
Yes.
Men are
Yes.
way better at being
Yes.
gay.
Men are better homosexuals than women.
we, we don't write this. It's in front of us.
Oh, it writes itself, bro.
We just show up. We just show up with our dicks and butts, and we get down to business. You bitches are sending off all these complicated apparatuses and augmenting members, and we don't need to do
We just show up with our dicks and butts.
that. We get down to business.
Oh man, I told this might be our most problematic episode yet.
But it's
Get
the
that
truth.
butt.
It's truth. It's truth. Look, I love everybody. I don't care what everybody does. Don't fuck with my kids. Don't come around me with the bullshit. But I love everybody. I don't care. I just want honesty and truth. I've had lesbian friends, and I've told them, I'm like, why is there like, why do you guys date these studs? And the few that I've met, that I've talked to, they're like, I don't fuck with studs either because I don't like them. I like women. I like women. I don't like a woman dressed as a man. Then I'll just fuck a man if that's the case. So I'm my I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem at all. But it's just this is how I'm seeing the world.
Just stop pretending that there's just not some perennial values, that we're all different and we're all segmented and we have this different experience. No, 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 no. All people, all sane people across the board, regardless of your immutable characteristics, regardless of who you like fucking, regardless of what orifice you prefer or whatever god you pray to and when he's going to rape and take over the world, regardless of what, however you categorize all that other shit, you value honest people. You prefer honest people to dishonest people. You prefer honorable people to dishonorable people. You like kindness and goodness rather than cruelty and fucking you know, just there's we all respond to the same shit. We all to just to com, to continue to break shit up and say, well, I experienced this as a gay woman, so you need to know about my identity as a gay woman, or as a gay man, or as a white dude, or as a black dude. It's all it's like you like when people are good to you and not bad to you, right? Right? Yeah, yeah. So there's just all the shit that works for us, that makes us successful, that makes us happy, that makes us complete, the things that bring beneficial things into our lives versus the things that bring destructive things into our lives, is pretty much the same shit. It's There's pretty much a through line that's just called humanity and the human experience, and we just all try to pretend that our human problems are somehow unique, gender based or sex based or race based problems. Like, nah, I'm pretty sure there's all kinds of overlap. It's just called being a fucking human. It's just called humaning. All that other shit is just is extra, and it creates all these reasons why we can't be honest with each other, why we do have to lie to each other, because we were given all these parameters that we have to operate within, and it's becoming more and more like abrasive and demanding. Like, I'm here, I'm queer. All right, cool. I suggest, I accept that you're here. I don't want you to not exist. I'm glad you could feel like you could be yourself. Okay, I'm gonna cut my dick off and make it a pussy. And if you don't want to fuck me, you're a fucking hateful bigot. Okay, you kind of moved the goalpost. I thought it
Definitely.
was just, I'm here and I'm queer. I have to accept that you. No, 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 no. Now you have to buy into like the way I perceive things. Like, nah, if you perceive yourself as a dude, cool. But you can't make me perceive you as a dude. Like, you don't get to have access to. You're asking me for something different. It was presented to me on terms of, I love you. I'm gonna be kind to you. I'm gonna treat you as a human, and you can exist being yourself. Okay, like that was the terms originally, and now it's like, nah, you need to see things the way that I see things, and you need to concede to all of these demands. Otherwise, you're committing a thought crime. If you're repulsed at the notion of a pussy dick, then you are a bigot and a hateful person. It's like, nah, that's not fair. So I don't know. I don't think this is problematic as much as it is just evidence that we're not in a place where we can all just talk freely and honestly with each other.
Right.
Like, just me not acknowledging your conclusions about this biological shit, which seems basic to me and silly to me that we're having this conversation, has nothing to do with whether I'm going to be polite to you when I see you in public, or that
Right.
I would
Right.
want to use some kind of power to make your life miserable. Nah, not at all. Just you're not a girl. You're not a dude. Like,
And even that, like, I would say that because that's an important point. We disagree. My line is being drawn on politics, not on humanity. Like that, if I'm walking in a Target and I see a clearly trans woman walking out of Target, I'm not gonna grimace. I wouldn't want to. I'm not gonna make no faces. I might nod at you like any other human that would be walking out of Target.
Well, if it's
But
botched, I might make a grimace.
you don't get to engage me as if you were an actual woman. That's when the jig is up. That's when the jig is up. That's when I'm be like, all right, look, this is too much. You know what I'm saying? But just to acknowledge you as a human, of course. Like, why wouldn't I? I don't want no trouble. I don't want to cause anybody any suffering, any pain. And I'm not even trying to get into that type of shit. But If you ask me what my pronouns are, or if you fucking try to start a conversation with me as a or something, anything like that, I'm gonna pull the plug on that shit immediately. All I have for you is base human decency.
But that's the dishonest thing. That's the trick. Is conflating those two things. Extending to you universal respect, humanity, just common human decency. Like you're conflating that with agreeing to your ideology. These are two totally different things. And the dishonest move is entering the public square to have a conversation but demanding that that be the starting point for everybody. If you disagree with my ideology, that is tantamount to denying me all kinds of human decency and respect. Like, and
Right.
that's just not a fair starting point. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody could have an honest conversation in those parameters. You know what I'm saying? Like if a Jehovah's Witness came up to you, knocks on your door and say, "Hey, I want to have a conversation with you, but I don't want you to mention anything that contradicts my belief system."
Fuck
Why
out
the
of
fuck are you knocking on my door to talk to me? You're basically just saying, like, basically, I'm demanding that we have a conversation where you agree to come to Kingdom Hall next week.
here. No,
Like,
not doing it.
well, that's not a conversation. Like, this is soft Nazism.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You're basically not holding me at gunpoint, but you have like a moral gun at your disposal, and you want to come and knock on my door early as fuck on Saturday morning and tell me your theological conclusions, and you're telling me that a prerequisite to us having the conversation is I can't say anything that undermines your conclusions. I can't talk to you about textual criticism. I can't talk to you about church history. I can't talk to you about religious history in general. All things which would kind of put your ideology into a context that might undermine the point that you're trying to make.
Mm.
So basically, you're telling me I want to put on the theater of conversation. I want a dumb person to look at the two of us talking and think that we're having a conversation, where really I'm just holding you hostage to my ideology. So
Yep.
that's why all of these things feel like they're problematic. When really it's just we've been having a dishonest conversation for so long that introducing some sincerity into the conversation, it's a shock to the system. Ugh, that just rubs me the wrong way. That feel like if you ain't heard the word fuck in a long time, like ooh, it just has a sting to it. It has a, if you're a person that was brought up that cursing is bad, that's like the worst word you can hear. Fuck. Oh my gosh. But if it's a word that was just flying out left or right, you're desensitized to it.
Right.
We have become totally desensitized. We haven't been bombarded with anything that resembles truth in so long that it's a shock. It's like, it's problematic. That's harsh. That sounds wrong. That sounds, I just don't like the way it sounds. Yeah, because we're all way too comfortable telling these soft lies to each other and pretending that it's doing a good service and being respectful and kind human beings when really those two things shouldn't be tied at the hip.
It should
It's
be a
silly.
lot. It should be very simple. But again, we've said this before, and I think it's one of the truest things about all of this shit is you have people who feel like they have been historically oppressed and treated like shit. So they're gonna use every opportunity that they can to throw a tantrum and not use logic and reason and everything else. They're just gonna say, "No, fuck you. This is the way it's got to be," or "You're a dinosaur bigot. You got to kiss these scrotum lips, or you're not a real man."
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I'm,
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Just like threw up in my
Hate
mouth.
test to the pussy. No, but wasn't there a thing? Wasn't there some kind of pamphlet put out? And I thought it was a joke, but it's legit about how to eat pussy when it's still a dick. And it talks about like spreading the scrotum. Like promise you,
Oh
Oh my
no.
I promise you, there's some shit out where it was like an instructional manual, like how to politely eat dick pussy.
I missed that one.
Look, dude, look it up, dude.
No, thank you. I
Listen,
believe you.
it's
Hold up. How about this though? Let's
I
just keep
believe
it real.
everything you're saying.
Let's just keep it real.
that's, that's dangerous.
How about this? How about if somebody was if somebody was trying to perform that on you in that way, that would be the worst blowjob ever.
Right.
That would be the worst blowjob ever. Your chick just spreading your bag and licking between your balls and shit. You be like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not how this goes. There's a whole
Need to give
different set of rules and motions to a BJ than there is to cunnilingus. You're gonna have to get on the same page here. So you would have to be in some type of psychosis to have a penis, but want to treat it like a vagina.
right, right. Because
Right.
I think that there's people who understand. I know what I was born. I know the realities. I know the biological realities here with chromosomes, X's and Y's. I understand testosterone and estrogen. There's these things at work. I understand their reality. I want to choose to live my life in a gender that I was not born into, that I biologically do not align with. And I'm making that choice and I'm conscious of it. I think those people, it's hard for me to make the argument that those people are mentally ill. Like they feel how they feel, but they're acknowledging these biological realities and they're making choices that make them happy. These are totally different than people who are saying, like, I'm a birthing person. I'm not a woman. I'm a birthing person. I'm a person who happens to be able to give birth. A woman? No, 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 no. A birthing person. Just because you can give birth doesn't mean you're a woman. No, that's actually exactly what that means. It exactly. You could be a woman who can't give birth, but you can't give birth if you're not a woman.
Right.
Like let's not. Well, there's some women who can't get pregnant. Their uterus is bent or something. Yeah, 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 but
But they
it
have a
doesn't
uterus.
matter. It doesn't matter. So yes, it's true. They can't get pregnant in the same way like a man can't get pregnant. There's some overlap. True. There's also a testosterone and an estrogen count. Units per nanoliter or whatever. There's also the chromosome. You could take a DNA. You could take a skull. That's why we know that bitch's name was Lucy. We found this 60 fucking thousand-year-old skull. What the fuck is it? I don't know. Take some of the fucking skull fragments, burn it, and let's see if we find X's and Y's. Like they found, and they dealt. We'll name her Lucy. We know it's a chick. No penises, no titties, no vulvas, nothing. It's just bones, and they could figure out if it's a man or a woman. So when you say, I'm denying that reality to the point that we're just gonna pretend that this is a pussy, and I'm gonna put out an instruction manual how to give cunning ligness to my bag, and we're gonna affectionately call it a spherical pussy. It's my scrotum is a pussy because that's delusional. That's theater. That's just we're pretending like we're not being rooted in reality. And it's cool if you find somebody that loves you and is willing to do that for you. That's between the two of you, and that's cool. But now you're going and saying, no, 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 we need to print out literature. We need to get out pamphlets. We need to have consensus amongst the masses.
We need to
The
teach this to the
nations of the world.
8-year-olds. We
Right.
need to teach
They
the
need to be,
8-year-olds.
they need to know about baglingus. They need to know. They
Bagalingus,
know. They
scrotalingus.
don't. They don't need it. No,
Scro-
literally nobody needs that except the person that's gonna do that to you.
I'm about to
Because
enter
there's a whole
scrotalingus into the dictionary. What is it?
scrotalingus is in there. Listen,
It's
there-
definitely already in there.
listen. There's a whole fucking world of fucking hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different varieties of dicks and pussies fucking each other without instruction manuals. And some dicks on dicks and pussies on pussies. We talked about this before. Dolphins are the most notorious species of rapists the earth has ever born. They're out there doing it without instructions.
Yeah, it is
Nature
already
finds a
there.
way. We don't need nature's gonna work nature out. And maybe that for whatever pocket of the whatever you're in the neck of the woods, there's a natural occurrence of scrotal lingus that's happening, and that's a natural occurrence because of the way that y'all looked at each other and how y'all got down, and you know what I'm
Right.
saying, and it was always you. It was never that fucking boner Wi-Fi bitch. It was always you. It was always you.
It was your
And
boner.
y'all, and it was and you found that we don't need to print out literature and teach it to everyone or say everybody needs to concede to this, because if you don't concede to this, it's like I don't exist and you don't think I deserve the air I breathe. Like, nah, stop fuck. That needs to be publicly shamed. Stop fucking doing that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to conflate those two things. That is the first mark that you're a dishonest person. And no serious person should engage you if that's your starting point. That you can't make a difference between basic human decency and universal kindness and respect and subscription to an ideology
Yeah.
that flies in the face of thousands of years of observable data logging, cataloging of information. Stop it.
And scrotolingus is definitely already in the sexual dictionary. The practice of licking and sucking the scrotum for sexual arousal or gratification. So I don't know who I thought I was fooling that I made up this word. Clearly, the internet is way ahead of me, and the sexual goings on of people out in the world. This is already something. This is already a thing. So fuck it. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Have all your fun. Just don't try to make me believe it. That's all I'm saying. Just don't try to make me believe
Yeah.
it, and everybody's gonna be happy.
Yeah, don't knock on my door Saturday morning.
Yeah, especially if you're not gonna let me ask you to explain these passages about slavery,
Yeah.
because
If I
I'm
can't
gonna want to know.
if I can't bring up the book of Enoch or the Apocrypha or the Council of Nicaea,
We
I
have
don't
nothing to talk about.
yeah. I don't,
We have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, that's amazing, absolutely amazing. But look, man, I think we've done enough damage for
oh
one
yes.
day. I think
I
we've
think we
just.
solved a lot of answers.
Well, that's another way to look at it. That's a beautiful thing about perspective. So I think we've done some damage. We've solved some problems. So I think we've done all the heavy lifting that we could do for one session. And this was my first time actually trying to live stream it on YouTube as we were recording. And kind of removes an extra step. And see how that works out. See if we
Well,
can
you should
get
have
some.
told me. I would have. Oh, I had to step out, but next time I don't have to do anything. I'll do the same.
Yeah. Just broadcast it as we record, and so I'll still have to upload it to Anchor and everything with the for the regular audio podcast. But at least we got this one straight to YouTube. I definitely want to start hitting that audience back up again. That's where all the arguments are going to be. That's where all the views are when people start getting pissed at us talking about Wi-Fi boners and shit like that. That's gonna heat some people up, and they're gonna talk about it on YouTube. So
Bro, I forgot there was this thing. I forgot what it is, but basically, like you could upload your own thing and people could watch shows or whatever. I forgot what it was called, but this is when I was like downloading YouTube videos and sampling heavy, and like I found the documentary about the Muslims. I forgot the name of it. What's the name of it? The I can't think of the stupid name, but it's the original one. Where what's his name?
who?
You're giving us
Elijah.
nothing.
Elijah Muhammad.
Elijah. There's a documentary. It's an old black and white one, and I was like, let me just like upload these like these videos, and so people can watch. I got the most racist
Oh my
I've ever
gosh.
seen in my life, and I'm
Did
just
you
like,
upload it to BitChute?
I don't know what it was, but it was. I'm like, I'm just uploading this to watch. Like this is. I'm not like engaging in conversation and saying white people are evil, but
Yeah,
it's
we're
just
gonna
here
have to
for
go
people
there
to
too.
listen.
We definitely got to go to BitChute too. We definitely got to farm that rage over there. There's definitely a bunch of rage harvest waiting for us on BitChute.
We need to have a segment where we just do dramatic readings of BitChute comments.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm definitely down for that. You'd have to
There
find
is
some
some
good videos and just read them.
fucking gold
I
in
believe
the
it.
fucking BitChute comments. I
That's
mean,
a
it's just
special
eh,
place.
We definitely should have like a video sit-in, like actors do when they're reading scripts, of just reading comments. We just put in our own voices.
we need to have a casting call where they sign waivers. We tell them that we're looking to making a movie, which we are. It's no time soon. They don't need to know that. And they
Mm.
sign the disclosures like, yeah, we're going to tape the performance, and here's your script, and it's BitChute comments. And they got to read this
I
shit
love
to each other.
I'm
I'm
down.
with it.
I'm
Capture
down.
it.
So BitChute comments and Thug Gossip. We can't forget. We gotta get some Thug Gossip clips. Find something funny to bring to next week's show, and then we'll throw in some BitChute comments for fun.
And fucked up Norman Rockwell's.
Oh, there
That's
we
a-
go.
That's a new thing I came up with
There we
when
go.
I was thinking about the babies. Dressing the baby up like Mao and Hitler and
Yeah.
creating scenes from little
Infant
babies.
axis of evil.
Right, the infant access of evil photo shoots. I was thinking about painters who, like, those picturesque Norman Rockwell paintings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? have it in that style, but shit that just confuses people. Like a picture of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King like tickling Hitler.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean? And
god.
Hitler's just got a look on his face, like smiling with his mouth agape and his eyes real big, like, you fucking guys got me. And they're just like all knee slapping happy and laughing at, like it looks like they're having just this really sweet, adorable moment. But it's people you wouldn't think that would like, how the fuck are they together in a painting?
Mm.
Or fucked up Rushmores. Like Mount Rushmores that just confuse the shit out of people.
Oh yeah.
Like Gandhi, Hitler, George Bush,
Almost
and
done, Mom. I'm wrapping it up right
Fatty
now.
Arbuckle, and you just have all four of them.
Let's
And there's
get it.
people like, why is there a Mount Rushmore with these four iconic faces? Like, I don't understand. What is the through line here?
I absolutely love it. I'm definitely gonna read some BitChute comment next week though, for sure. Absolutely. I'm not missing that for nothing. I already know there's some comedic gold in there. It's gonna be super hateful and problematic, but it's gold. It won't be my words. It'll be the words of the BitChute
You
commenter.
guys need to log in Xbox and play with a couple of people. There's hilarious things that goes on in Xbox Live too.
Gosh, dude. I would can't we? Because that would have to be Twitch. Like we could talk all this shit while we were actually playing something and recording.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be Twitch.
YouTube is horrible. Twitch so far doesn't tag you so much.
We just got to find something we can actually play that won't be too demanding of our minds while because we used to do it with this game called Ark. Me and the homies used to play Ark. It's like this. It's like Minecraft for adults. You build and shit, but you got to fight dinosaurs and tame dinosaurs and ride them and fly them and shit.
I got the perfect game. PUBG. It's a
Oh,
shooting
yeah.
game. It's a shooting game, and you'll have great content.
Yo, well, we'll try PUBG and we'll try some Ark because Ark is the shit, bro. And you can, if you have your own Ark server open, you can kind of just chill and be building a building. You don't have to worry about somebody sniping your head off and shit. So they both might work. So we're gonna have to give it a shot for sure.
I think you guys are assuming that we have to be good at this.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's true.
we could just go into Call of Duty and die and still have a great conversation.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Still
When,
good
when you're on
footage.
when you're on
There's
Twitch, though,
bimbos on Twitch with titties out who die every 5 seconds and getting $20
uh,
donations by
yeah,
the
but they
minute.
they have titties.
That's
though.
the yeah. That's yeah.
But I'm
we
saying
have
though,
no
it's...
titties to bring to the table.
That's true. That is a fair point that you make there.
None of us own boner Wi-Fi.
Bro, I wanna
We don't have-
start an OnlyFans so bad.
Do that shit, bro.
But without the sexual content.
Nah, you got to stick carrots up your butt or
You
something.
have to do something.
You're
Bro.
not, you're not getting paid if they're in a carrot in your ass.
You gotta do
Just
something.
let's be clear.
I just want to start an OnlyFans without the sexual content and just see how far I can push it.
You could just
You
play
know what?
PUBG with your toes
That-
out.
Hold on. Yo, that's a fucking funny side hustle. Have fucking respectable citizen OnlyFans.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not what like I'm paying you $5.99 a month for what? Yeah, I just do regular shit. I don't show my butt.
Can I do gardening videos on there and shit?
This is not, what did you expect coming here?
And it's just like it's a 5-minute video of you just petting a cat, watching TV.
I like it. I like it. We might be leaving money on the table, fellas. I feel like we just discovered something that might make us rich. I'm gonna brainstorm on it.
It's gonna bring Christians in out the drone. They're gonna be talking about the OnlyFans, and it's just like the greatest content in the world.
I love it.
Dude, it's something that would just be hilarious to get cards made. Hey, check out my OnlyFans. Like, end conversations that way, and have people go like, "This dude has a fucking OnlyFans." Like,
Yeah.
what the? Because you automatically say, "Oh, he must be selling butt." If he's on OnlyFans, and then they go there, and it's just you making like a smoothie in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Talking to
hanging
the
shed-
flowers in the garden, just to go out and talk to the flowers for 20 minutes.
just doing mundane, basic shit, and just be like, yeah, no, you should pay me money to watch me do these kinds of things.
I
It's
love
only
it.
$2 a month.
Let's do it. Yeah, it'll be the Dangerous Gentleman's OnlyFans page.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah.
you send DMs for another $5. You can watch me read a book.
But for $20, I will stick this carrot up. If you gonna send me $20, I'll pop
Hey,
the carrot.
$20 is $20, B.
No, send me $20 and watch me pop a cherry. That is, you're actually popping a
Oh,
cherry.
there you go. Yeah, misleading OnlyFans titles. Three guys
Yeah.
popping a cherry.
Yeah.
Watch me make a cream pie.
Oh, dude, and it's really a cream pie, and it's like,
Oh,
yo, stroking pussy while watching TV, and you just petting the
You
cat,
just pet the cat.
and got the remote. Watch me stroke this
oh,
pussy while watching TV.
I like
Yeah,
it. I like it.
Watch
Get,
me dance with this bitch, and it's you dancing with your dog, a female dog.
and no
me,
sitting on the back.
getting blown for 20 minutes. You're just sitting in front of the fan.
Yeah.
I dig it. Let's do it.
Telling you,
No,
bro.
but like, all the pictures, like the thumbnails, are really suggestive. Like people biting their lips. You know what I mean? Like real. Like you about to see some sensual shit, and
Yeah.
this is super game, and nobody gets their money back.
I love it. I
And you
absolutely
gotta
love it.
sign an NDA. You gotta
Yes,
sign
yep.
an
You can't
NDA
tell nobody.
Bro, you don't
because
even
you
have to
can't
do
own
any
the
of that.
business model by talking to other people. And if
You
we see you spoil it to somebody else online, we can sue you.
Now, I think
But
people
that's
would pay
but
you
you
anyway,
can.
just for
You
fun.
can do that with OnlyFans. That's the beautiful thing about OnlyFans. So like you have people who have OnlyFans, and if that product gets taken out outside of, because you own that, you own everything in there. So if anybody takes it out and shares it, you could sue them for that.
And
Like
I think
OnlyFans
people
is
would pay.
really good for that.
That
I
you've
think they
done
pay just for
research
fun.
for
Like
your
they
OnlyFans.
would get the joke, they
Bro,
would appreciate it, and they pay.
I go deep for the content, bro. I like you have no idea. You have no idea of the things that I come up with.
All right, well, put it this way: we all got a mission. We all got homework. Like Tyler Durden gives out homework. We all got homework for next week. We need to find at least a handful of comments to read from BitChute, and we got to do some research on how we can get away with ganking people for bread off OnlyFans without exploiting our souls for it.
Famous people have OnlyFans, right? And you're thinking you're about to see like Cardi B's pussy, and you go in there and it's her Instagram pictures of her in a bathing suit, and
I
you've already
love it.
paid. You've already paid
Right, but
$20.
they don't show you. Right.
You already paid $20.
I love it, dude. I think we could do it without actually scamming. Like we could do it in a way where people enjoy it, and they would pay us just because it's funny. That's what people are doing with money out here right now. They're just like, you know what? I'm gonna just throw some bread at it because it's hilarious. So yeah, let's do it. So who's gonna start the page?
You've already laid down the foundation.
All right, who's gonna start it? Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna start the
Let's
page?
get the Dangerous Gentleman OnlyFans going. I'll set it up.
I'm down, bro. I got mad garden
Give me the
content.
Give me the emails. Give me whatever. I will set up the Dangerous Gentleman OnlyFans.
I got a picture of me writhing on the floor of a racquetball court.
Oh, so we all got to have some provocative, risque photos to honey trap them in.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send you one with me like biting my lip, one where I kind of got my finger in my mouth a little bit,
There you
going on my
go.
lip.
Just get some sweatpants and just take a picture.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm on it. Yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. Find me some grub. I definitely appreciate y'all for farming this absurdity with me today. This was absolutely awesome, and I'm sure we're gonna get some messages. I'm prepared. I'm ready. Let's get it. At least one of us is down to debate you if you have a problem with this episode.
Yes, please. We don't. You're not a real critic if you haven't been a guest on the show. You can't be a critic. Please, if you disagree that vehemently, come and explain yourself.
Bring it. Bring it. Well, you fellas enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. I'm gonna play a little bit of this outro track and see how that works. But I'll be talking to you brother soon, man.
I'm gonna go rub one out to Henry or Troy. Y'all brothers be easy.
Get that butt, guys.
Get that right, bro.
Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely. Metaphysics, if it isn't, you're fucked. Absolutely. Totally and absolutely. Metaphysics, if it isn't, you're fucked.